The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, January 14th, 2022. And this show begins right now.
Yeah!
Can't thank you enough for joining us. I hope you are absolutely fantastic wherever the hell you may be. The Toxic Table is here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys at Tone Diggs is here. And we are all feeling a little bit mighty this morning. We're all feeling a little bit joyful because not only is it a Feel Good Friday, how you doing, keep it moving. Not only is there NFL games tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, but we are currently, right now, standing in the present universe that is the Same Game Parlay Holiday. Eve.
Yeah.
That starts tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Get 50% back on money that you bet on same game parlays at FanDuel. You bet $20 on same game parlays, you get $10 back. If you bet $50 on same game parlays on FanDuel on the NFL wildcard games, you get $25 back. You bet $100, you get $50. You bet $200, you get $100 back. If you go over $200, you get $100 back.
Wow. Good
And
deal.
those are tiers, by the way. It's not like you bet 60, you get 30 back. You bet 50, you get 25. You bet 20, you get 10. You get 100. Bet 100, you get 50. You bet 200, you get 100. I mean, the Same Game Parlay Holiday. Eve is a glorious day.
Very excited.
I'm very excited. It seems like all the teams in here have great same game parlays. That's because we're looking at a great weekend of football. I mean, whenever you start looking at the schedule and you have the Raiders and Bengals kicking this entire thing off, we have no clue what that's going to produce. Will the Bengals be absolutely electrifying with an offense that has 3 receivers that have been very prolific all season? Joey Burrow coming into his own in his first season in which he's able to play without dying.
Yeah.
Well, kinda.
He did get smacked around quite a bit.
Yeah, but he was he played through the season. He played through the season.
Exactly.
His rookie year, death, car accident, smash, dead, out for the season.
Right.
We all predicted it. Anybody that watched Joe Burrow play in his rookie year, that dude's going to get hurt. We don't want to say it, we said.
No.
Don't want to say what we're about to. McAfee, another guy. He plays so fast, and he gets into so many collisions, he's probably going to get hurt. Joey Burrow, his rookie year, showed all the signs of having it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely crushing it. Somebody's getting a phone call. I hope everything's okay. But absolutely crushing it until he got crushed and missed the rest of the season. Then this year, with Jamar Chase in tow and the training camp stories where this guy can't catch a fucking NFL ball.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it turns out that was wrong. Joey Burrow changed his game a little bit in mic'd up situations. We've heard him say, I don't like getting hit by you guys anymore. Zach Taylor finally wins as an NFL head coach. Now they have a home playoff game after being the AFC North champs. Who do they have to play against? Oh, a team that lost a coach.
What?
Lost a couple of their players.
What?
Being investigated by the RRS.
What?
All systems shit.
Yeah.
But somehow, Richie Bisaccia, Derek Carr, Darren Waller, and the boys for the Raiders have been able to persevere and win games that nobody thought they would win and make it into the playoffs with house money in Las Vegas. Will the Raiders upset the electrifying Bengals? We have no clue, but the pod is putting together a same-game parlay that everybody will be able to bet on at FanDuel. Put your own together. You guys saying you feel real good about it.
Real good.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, we did. We doing a lot of R&D. We had about 5-6 different potential ones. Then last night, me, Zeke, Connor, we kind of all came in, had the same idea, and it was like, okay, this just feels right. We're feeling very good about where we're at.
Very good. I mean, for I think everybody in the office, we've all done, our research and everything, and now it's up to the football gods. It's up to the gambling gods. It's out of our hands now. It's the same game parlay holiday clause, right?
Yeah, and honestly, the same game parlay holiday clause comes down the chimney and delivers the greats because not only do we have Raiders and Bengals, we have Patriots Bills on Saturday night. Ooh, yeah. Saturday Night Football, an AFC East rival matchup. A trilogy for this particular season. The first game ruined by wind and weather. It was a completely different ball game than either of the teams had shown in any other game that they had played. The next time they met, the Buffalo Bills took their wagon into Foxborough and destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Now, after Jordan Poyer and the boys have 0 Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the Buffalo Bills, are they going to come out with a statement to make? Are they going to be trying to hit a little bit harder? Are they going to be trying to run a little bit faster? And are they going to be trying to stomp a mud hole in the motherfuckers that don't give them any respect? Josh Allen is playing at a high level. Stephon Diggs, absolute stud. Don't sleep on the rapping, the COVID vaccinating, hating Cole Beasley as well out there. I'm excited for that game. You know, Bill Belichick's going to have a couple wrinkles. Excited to see what Mac Jones does. Just a rookie quarterback, but feels like a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Feels like he's a 50-year-old out there. And you have Josh McDaniels, big old brains on Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick. I just assume Saturday night is going to be must-watch.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to hear that the game's not sold out yet. I mean, very cheap tickets.
Well,
I know
I'm
it's
really
cold.
surprised.
Hey, I know
I'm
it's
really
cold.
surprised you brought that up.
I mean, I know it's cold, but
Bills
there hasn't been a
Mafia,
playoff
what are
game
we
in
doing?
Buffalo in a long, long time. So that was a little surprising. I mean, the weather's going to be a factor. Obviously, it's good just to get Mac Jones, some experience. But Chuck said it yesterday. It's going to come down to probably 2 or 3 fourth down plays that the Bills will either get or they won't. We know Belichick is probably not going to end up going for it on fourth down because that stud Jake Bailey in the back, he can put the ball wherever the hell he wants. You know that with Slater.
Yeah,
and
he's really good.
Bethel. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
come
really
on.
good.
But I'm very juiced up for it. Everyone.
That was interesting to hear, though, by the way. $30 tickets still available right now for the Buffalo Bills playoff game hosting the New England Patriots winning the AFC East. That was interesting to hear. I did not expect that.
At all. Like, I know, obviously, it's negative.
Honestly, we talked to Jordan Poyer yesterday for, 4 or 5 minutes about, man, the Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
What happened? You think flights probably canceled.
I don't know. You think a lot of Bills
roads
fans?
probably closed. Flights probably canceled. Can't get there, so you got to pay.
Well, it's not really.
You got to just get rid of the tickets. They want somebody else to go enjoy it because they can't get up to Buffalo. You know
it's
what I
not
mean?
really snowing, though. I think Buffalo has a population size that would allow not all the people to go there. So,
So allegedly, Zito just came out here and said there is a lot of tickets available.
a lot.
Really?
The
What
Bruins,
happened?
The Bruins Flyers hockey game has a higher price ticket than the Bills.
And those are 2 AHL teams.
Well, the
those
Bruins,
2 teams aren't even in the NHL.
Bruins are in the playoffs. I mean, they're sitting right next to the Penguins, so I'm not. I
You
wouldn't
ain't
go that
anyway. The
far.
only place you're sitting next to us is the fact that you're in the black and gold colors whenever you take the ice.
Great
Wow.
color scheme. Hey, we can all agree on that. That's an unbelievable color scheme.
Yeah, we agree. It's all of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
It's
we're an
what-
original 6 team, so more so the Penguins copied us.
who
But hey,
cares?
who cares?
Original
We're
6.
talking
That's
about
great. You
football.
guys, nobody had pads. The goalies
no.
didn't even know what a puck was.
Hey, look, we've won a cup in the last 10
Invented
years.
hockey. Canada
This
invented
guy.
hockey, but I mean, Detroit stinks. We're not getting into all of that, but you're right. In the time of the NFL being dominant, and in the time of Bills Mafia being one of the fan bases that people seek out to watch and put over,
Respect.
and say, hey, this is a fan base, because they have to go through all the weather up there. The snow, the insanity, the booze, and it's still going to be loud. It's still going to be crazy,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody expected there to be $30 tickets available for a playoff game. I remember back in the day, Indiana was considered a basketball state. I guess it still is. One of the basketball Hall of Fames is here in Indiana. High school basketball here is huge. And I think it does all revolve around the fact that IU had Bobby Knight for those years, and it was beloved here. The Pacers make the playoffs. And this was either the first year or the second year in which they ended up running into the Heatles in the conference championship, but I was here. They couldn't sell the top of the arena or whatever. I was like, I thought this was a basketball. This is playoffs, this whole thing. For whatever reason, they weren't able to move the tickets. So I bought literally 5,000 of them, I think, at a $5 price and gave them away to a bunch of people for that. Had the whole place packed out. But that was an eye-opener for me. I'm like, how is this place not selling out? These are the only games that matter, right? This is how everybody views, hey, in the NBA, when you get to the playoffs, this is an entire another season. So I wonder what the fuck's going on up in Buffalo. I don't think Jordan Poyer expect that. I feel like I see an entire stadium of people at the airport whenever they arrive.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is going on? Maybe Omicron.
It could be.
Maybe
I know
Omicron ran through.
They require vaccinations, but I'll tell you what, where I come from, no matter what your stance is, you're getting vaccinated if it means going to a Steeler game for $30.
Yeah, big team, little me.
Bingo.
Big team, little me.
This is the playoffs.
Yeah, there is an I in win, and the I is you buying in to go see the Bills play against the New England Patriots in the playoffs at
It's
home.
also kind of embarrassing for Patriots fans that they haven't seen this and then decided to take over the stadium.
I do believe there has been.
I would assume that the Patriots, the massholes, will take advantage of this particular opportunity.
I hope so.
And I don't know if, You know, I don't know Josh Allen's, I think he's married. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if his wife is going to go do a show like Kelly Stafford and say,
That'd be sweet.
hey, you motherfuckers, like, what are we
Going silent count all night.
What are we even doing? Kelly Stafford saying, please do not sell your tickets, okay? Just don't go. But we need not what happened between the Niners and the Rams the other day. Matthew, my husband, the home quarterback of Los Angeles. And she even said, we played at Detroit a long time. We're in Detroit a long time with a lot of fan bases that travel. We've been there. He had to go on a silent count. Jimmy G was going with a cadence. And I was like, I couldn't even imagine Kelly Stafford like watching that game, right? Because let's say I hit a punt and a person gets a big return. My mom's natural reaction or Sam's natural reaction is like, these motherfuckers, like, make the tackle or whatever. Kelly's natural reaction is to protect Matthew, watching the game just being like, what the fuck is even going on here? This is bullshit. And a lot of people are saying, oh, that's Matthew's words coming through. I was like, no.
I got it.
No, I think Kelly was like legitimately pissed off. Like, what the hell is going on here? Also, they went to Georgia, right? I mean, Georgia, that was 80-20 the other night. That fan base is big. The Lions sold out every single game Matthew Stafford was there. They're the Lions. So Kelly being like, hey, listen, we're up there in Detroit, and that whole place is home. And Packers fans notoriously travel.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in L.A. You know, easy come, easy go.
Hey, you know, sometimes you trade for that, for the lavish lifestyle and living on the beach. You know, you're going to get some fair weather people. And anyone who saw the TV copy, I mean, there was about 75% of the fans in the stadium were 49ers fans. But do you think it's possible that the Bills fans, are just thinking like, hey, listen, we've had each one game apiece. We've seen them. We're going to beat the hell out of the Patriots.
This is like the Alabama fans.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We'll wait until, next week. Hopefully we have another home game. If not, maybe we go to a warmer weather city where we can kind of make a weekend out of it. We're going to beat the hell out of the Patriots.
Maybe go to Nashville.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to end up at Nashville.
No, it's either Kansas City or home.
So there you go.
So it's still cold.
So it's cold.
And
no
you're
matter
not going
what.
to get into Kansas City.
Well, but Kansas City, that's a big playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, but Kansas City, that place is sold out. That place is sold out.
That's why. And if you want to bet on, next week in the playoffs in the NFL, the Jags just beat the Colts at home. You never know when the worst team could beat, the home team. I'm not saying the Patriots are the worst team, but the Bills definitely have an advantage for sure. Although they're not taking advantage of it. Their fans aren't going.
I thought people were lying on the internet to make Bills Mafia look bad.
Me too.
Because I think you presented it to me, so I was like, this is obviously an
Convenient.
unbiased
propaganda.
But New England's going to make them pay for that. I mean, Patriots fans are going to make them pay for that. But at the end of the day, it's all about the players on the field.
That's right.
There might not be as many buildos in the stands as we thought there would be, but Josh Allen and the boys and Poyer still got a chip. They're going to do their thing, and hopefully Bills Mafia will show up for it, which they're going to.
Well,
Yeah.
What?
maybe. How is the game not sold out? It's a playoff football game.
Joining us now is a man who might have more information on all this stuff. Senior NFL insider for NFL.com and NFL Network. The host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, him being that first name there. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Rap Sheet, we were just talking about this. There's no way anybody on earth expected the Buffalo Bills game, home playoff game against the New England Patriots, post-COVID here too.
Yeah.
A couple years post-COVID, not to be sold out. That is a mind blower to me. I don't know if that's in your sphere at all. Just some punditry thoughts from Rap Sheet on that.
Definitely not in my sphere. I would say, that's surprising, but I'm not worried about it because I think Bills Mafia is going to show up. They always show up. They are intense. They are crazy. They show up at the airport at 3 a.m. when Josh Allen gets there after
That's
a
what we're
Monday
saying.
night football game. So it is going to be fine. They are going to be fine. The fact that it's not sold out now is weird, but also it's going to be very cold. Maybe people don't want to be cold.
Give me a break.
Well, see, and that's what we're talking about. You just said they show up at 3 a.m. Buffalo people just know it's cold for like 6 months of the year.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
I mean, from Jamestown all the way up to Canada and all the towns in between over there, I think they just understand that life's cold, life's windy, life's snowy, but that's our grit, that's our town, that's our team.
Born in the cold.
I love Buffalo. I love 716, dude. Fucking A. I'm bummed about this because yesterday
I like the wings. Wings, that's one of the rare things in life where people talk about how good the wings are there. And then I went there and ate several different varieties, and I'm like, wow, these are actually better than people said.
A couple of people sent me tweets saying, hey, if you take Jordan Poyer up on his offer to go to the game on Saturday night, we could probably buy, I guess,
Yeah,
We could all probably go.
We could all probably go, I guess, now, which I did not
And our
expect.
extended family.
Yeah, tickets available apparently. But see, that this doesn't matter. Tickets are not going to be available come game time. It's going to the atmosphere. It is
$20.
You've been there, obviously, so it is a great place to play.
We
football.
agree, Ian. That is what we are saying. I think we're all saying that. Like,
Yeah.
We are all mind blown that this hasn't happened. I mean, the NFL is averaging 17 million viewers per game. The NFL is bigger than ever. The Buffalo Bills Mafia are hot. Like, what? I don't know how that works business wise, but Buffalo will show up. Those Bildos will be flying. Tables will be broken. Don't you worry about it, Connor. Let's move on to some other stuff, Ian, that you might know about. A lot of coaching situations unfolding before our eyes here. 7 openings. There is only one black coach remaining in the NFL. Now, everybody's assuming that B-Flow is going to get hired quickly. Mayo's going to get hired. Jim Caldwell's back in conversation. Not a good look at the moment at all for the NFL or their hiring practices. How do you see this whole thing going? Because in Houston, I saw that Pep Hamilton's going to be the offense coordinator, whether you like it or not, whoever's getting hired. I love Pep, but is that because Caserio is already putting the pieces together? And I heard he's on the headset with Cauley during the game. Is that happening as well?
We'll start with the last part first. Yes, that is the way Nick Caserio does things. I mean, he's on the headset. He was on the headset in New England. He is the general manager. He also sometimes will be on field working with players. And people talk about it like it's bad. And I'm sort of not sure where or why that's bad. I mean, most GMs sit with the owner in the box. They spend the time, not saying that any of the good people in the NFL would do this, but bad-mouthing the rest of the team and talking about what's wrong. Caserio is very hands-on, and he wants to know everything that's going on with his team. So, like, being on the headset, to me, almost makes sense. He's also,
But he fires the coach, in which he's on the
analytical.
headset, so he's not just picking out what everything's wrong. He's saying, hey, I could probably coach this team better and be the GM. Is that what he's thinking, you think?
I just think he wants to make sure that the team takes a global look at this thing. Like, a lot of teams, remember when the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl and Doug Peterson was getting sort of praised for all his analytical approach and going for on 4th down and all of that. A lot of that was because he had an analytics expert in his ear before key downs telling him what the percentages were. I imagine Caserio follows a similar role in Houston. He just happens to also be the GM. He also wants all the information he can have. So being on the headset during practices, games, people talk about it like it's bad, and maybe I'm missing some of it, but I don't see what the bad part of it is.
Okay, so the bad thing probably is that he could potentially be stepping on other people that are much better than he is at doing something, right? That's what you hire coaches for, offense coordinators, defense coordinators, position coaches for. You're the GM. You're supposed to be scouting, building a team. But also, there's some head coaches that come in and call plays. So a GM coming in and doing more than just what is normally on the GM title, I don't think is a bad thing. But if they continue to stink, then it becomes a problem, right?
Of course, right. And that's the thing, if, the way Nick Caserio is doing things in Houston, he stripped it down. I mean, that was not a very good team personnel-wise this year. The most money they had invested were dudes playing at other places, guys like Winnie Merciless, who probably plays this weekend for the Packers, sounds like.
Winnie Merciless.
Next weekend for the Packers.
He's a big dog.
So,
they got to buy it this week, dude.
Stripped it down. They obviously didn't have Deshaun Watson. They're going to build from the studs, trade Deshaun Watson in the offseason, and then use all the picks to build this back up. If it doesn't work, they're all going to get fired, obviously. He's already fired one head coach. But I want to go back to what you talked about before, the fact that David Culley was fired, worked his entire life to be a head coach, finally gets the opportunity of a lifetime, gets fired after 1 year. There's one black head coach in the NFL, which is not good. It is bad, not just a bad look, it is just bad. But this is a really good group of head coach candidates who are also black. Todd Bowles is very good. I think he gets a job. I think Flores gets a job. Gerard Mayo has a real chance in Houston. I think a very good chance.
Is that because, just real quick, I don't want to stop this, but is Gerard Mayo down there because Caserio knows, okay, young head coach, I can still do my thing? Is that going to be run through Caserio? Is that what and that's why Pep Hamilton's going to be the offensive coordinator? Caserio's hey, you're staying in here. I am coach GM this entire. Is that why you think? And Gerard Mayo's one of his guys. It's hey, I get along with this guy. I can go in his ear. I can tell him stuff if he wants to. He'll be able to handle it. Is that why that's potentially going to happen there?
I don't know that Pep Hamilton's going to be the offensive coordinator there. I mean, I hope he's the offensive coordinator somewhere.
Mixed reports.
And I saw the report, and it's not I'm not disputing the report.
Wow.
But there's also a chance that Pep gets hired somewhere else. And he's a really good candidate. He's done a great job with Justin Herbert, who's pretty good. Davis Mills, who most people hadn't heard of, who really played very well for a very bad team.
Concur.
He might get hired somewhere else, but I just, to me, like, you hire a head coach and you say, here's Lovie Smith, here's Pep Hamilton, here are your coaches, go. Like, that doesn't – I guess it's possible, but that doesn't really work. So
a GM in an era of a head coach probably during a game doesn't normally work. But I mean, who knows? Who knows about that entire thing? But sorry to get you off track. Byron Leftwich also probably going to get interviews as well, right?
Yeah, and he's someone who I think is really deserving as well. But I hope you are wrong. I hope that if the Texans hire Gerard Mayo, it is not because they can control him. He's a strong person and he's a strong leader. But he's also a young head coach who I think is going to be really dynamic and have some good ideas. So I hope he comes in, complements it all. They have a good system. Casillas on the headset, but they're on the same page. That's best case scenario. What you described as worst case scenario. So I hope you are wrong, but I've seen it all in the NFL. So we'll see if it happens.
I mean, the last person that was coaching there was also the GM, the lead counsel, the equipment manager, Bill O'Brien. It seems like that is just kind of how it works whenever McNair, Easterby, and whoever gets in the room together, like, hey, why don't you just run everything, And Casillas like,
I will.
Right.
Good idea.
Hey, flea flicker, let's go. Right now, need it. I mean, that is awesome. And the eyes will, hindsight will always be the judge of everything. If it works, it'll be great. Caserio might be a new model. Like, hey, can we just get a football genius in here to run the team? Also help out with the coaching. I'm excited for that. Bill Belichick, I think, is really the only person who has ever been successful being the GM and the head coach. I'm not saying that Caserio would be the head coach as well, but when you have input into game planning and practice and you're in the ear, that feels like you're also a coach.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's definitely different.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to have some success down there. Let's go to Chicago. Chicago has everybody in their building or in Zoom calls. Where are they at, you think? Are people taking trips to Chicago right now? Is it all Zoom calls? When will they hire? Who will they hire?
Flores goes today, and he is on a Zoom. And I would say I think most of the guys are on Zoom first interviews, because that's kind of the way it's working, is you do all the Zooms first, and then you bring in a couple second interviews, and then you make your decision. Flores is a very good coach. As we've discussed, there are some people who get very upset when you talk truth to them, and I think Brian Flores will always talk truth right to your face. Some people don't like those uncomfortable conversations, but he is a very good coach. I think would do a great job in Chicago. They also have to hire the GM, and they're actually doing interviews concurrently. So they got GM interviews and then coach interviews, and then they're going to try to marry them together. And I'm like really curious, like, do they have them sit in a room and talk? Like, I remember the 49ers had John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan just sit in a room and have a conversation, but could you guys work together? And they were on the same page and they moved forward.
How much you paying us?
It's a tough thing to do. Whereas like the Giants and Vikings are going to hire a GM first, then hire the coach.
I think younger coaches and younger GMs will just say, yeah, we can get along. Experienced coaches will be like, nope, I can't actually get along with this person. So that's an interesting thing as well, especially with the amount of money and power that is on the line for everybody. J.J. Watt and Juju both trending towards playing this weekend. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. We'll start with Watt.
J.J. Watt!
Did you see the video yesterday online?
Which one?
The practice video of Watt. It was like super slow-mo with the eyeball emoji of him like getting ready for practice. Just kind of like
he looks good,
on out there.
He looks good.
It was like one of your shows. It was like a wrestling entrance.
Oh, really?
Really.
Well, I'm not the father of wrestling, but I do understand. I also do wrestling. It was a beautiful thing. You're saying J.J. Watt all the way back, though? What are they expecting? Pitch count? Can't play him as much? He'll be in there full force? How about Juju? He said he was practicing. He had some tweet he put out that basically alluded to, guess who's back? Juju's back.
Yeah, I think both of them are going to be back. But so J.J. Tore his bicep, his labrum, and his rotator cuff.
Wow.
Those are like, so he had surgery on all of them.
Gee.
Basically, the way he described it was his shoulder tore like out the back, which is like, when I first heard it, my knees actually shook, which is like kind of weird, but it was disgusting.
Same.
And the fact that he is playing that's a 4 to 6 month recovery. The way it was described to me was this: He knows his body so well. He's so in tune with what's happening physically that he can push himself to places that most people can't because he's not worried about like tearing it again.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, normal humans like kind of tweak something like, oh, gotta stay off the ankle for 2 weeks. JJ's like, yep, like bring on the pain.
Hell
So
yeah.
he's not normal. So I think he was doing defensive line drills before this week. Now gets out to practice. I heard yesterday at practice he looked really good. He probably plays. And then Juju, this was like a surprise because I think all of us thought he was out for the season after shoulder surgery. Yesterday's practice went well. No setbacks. He thinks he's playing. Steelers are kind of like, we'll see, but I think he's playing too. And that would be, you know, you think about a team, like let's say the Chiefs preparing for the Steelers, like they were not preparing for Juju, and now you just drop in like a starting receiver. Like that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and you also drop in, you know, Fryer, and Ben Roethlisberger saying, "Hey, we're probably gonna lose by 20, boys. Who cares? Let's go out there and let it fly."
I love that.
I love the
great.
storylines of this weekend. There are so many good storylines. There are so many teams that could potentially go on a run, and there's teams that could win that would make no sense. We have all the things here with the odds of who could win the Super Bowl. The Steelers are the highest at like plus 9,000 or something like that. So obviously they are viewed as no. The Raiders at plus 6,000 going to the Bengals, Eagles and Bucks. I mean, we got some really lopsided odds games on who's going to win the Super Bowl. But honestly, any given Sunday, this is Super Wild Card Weekend. Ian, let's go.
Yeah.
So I got a couple thoughts. Not that my thoughts matter as far as punditry, but
They do.
I feel like the Eagles have a real shot. You
How
know?
come? How come? How come?
They run the ball so well, and everybody's tired, and everyone's beat up, and it's the longest season ever. That's not the thing. The biggest season ever, whatever the thing is, the biggest season ever.
Longest.
Everybody's tired, and everyone's beat up, and the Bucks didn't have a bye, and the Eagles are physical and they run the ball right at you, and it doesn't matter who the running back is. That is really hard to stop. And once it gets going, it's really, really hard to stop. And they got a quarterback that I remember talking to a defensive coordinator last year before, like as Jalen Hurts was kind of getting into it and kind of playing. And he was basically like, we're preparing all week and we have no idea what we're going to see because he runs around and he scrambles and he finds himself in such different weird spots that you don't know how to defend it. So to me, like the Eagles aren't as good as the Bucks, but they could win, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting whenever you say something like that because you have to immediately say like, oh, okay, so you're saying that Tom Brady is going to lose to Jalen Hurts. And then you're saying that Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea are worn down and tired, even though they might be absolute superhumans. And Pierre-Paul and the boys out there, White, I think, is back. That whole squad, you're saying, you know what?
Yeah, they're all coming back.
They're beat down. They're beat up. They can't last with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sure they won't hear that. I don't think anybody down there listens to this show. So I don't think they'll hear that. Ian Rappaport thinks that the old-ass Buccaneers are worn down and can't stop the run in the playoffs.
They shouldn't even play tomorrow.
They should, maybe call in younger teammates.
Yeah.
Get the old-ass guys out of there, Ian. Jeez.
So when I covered the Patriots, I was writing for the Boston Herald, but then you get some like random TV appearances on like Comcast or something during the week. It was very exciting because you'd make like $200, which was a lot of money back then, and it's a lot of money still. And it was great, and I loved it. And I would sometimes be a little too opinionated, and then random Patriots people, sometimes players or coaches, would like get mad at me, and I never understood why. And it turns out that sometimes I would say something, and then like Belichick would play it in a meeting, and it'd be me like giving my opinion for some stupid reason, and then they would all watch me and use me as fuel in the meeting.
Yeah, he would get like the remote out and say, remember this guy, this little fucking pissant rat that walks through our locker room every day and says, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Listen to this shit on Comcast. Boom. Play it in. I don't know if this Patriots team can still go. I don't
not their
know.
year.
What we've seen, the dynasty might be dead. And Bill's like, this is our own guy.
Yeah.
This guy is our own guy saying that. How many Super Bowls did you contribute to? I mean, congratulations.
Thank you, Repshin.
Well,
Are we going to see that man in the arena?
Don't congratulate me though. In all seriousness, don't congratulate me. I was there in 2010, 11, 12. So they went to a Super Bowl, but they lost.
So you didn't motivate him enough. Comcast not a big enough show. That show wasn't big enough. Now you could do that all you had to. Let's pivot out of the playoffs real quick. I know the boys will have some questions for you, Ian. We appreciate you joining us here on this Feel Good Friday. Same game parlay, holiday eve.
Hell yeah.
We can't thank you enough, Ian. Denver Broncos officially up for sale. John Elway and Peyton Manning are in 2 different funding groups out of 6 that we've heard that are all pitching to get the ownership of the team. How does that work? They have to pitch the other owners first, and then they have to get the deal done with the family, or who has to okay them to be in there, and how do you weasel your way into one of those groups?
You talking to me, or how do you weasel your way?
I just as a friend, for a friend.
For a friend,
Yeah.
right?
Just happened to do a
So
lot
the
of
way
that.
it's going to work is some of these are real, like, closed bids, and then you get picked a winner. I think the Clippers was like this, where I think the Clippers were like this, where basically you submit an envelope. Here's
Pretty
your
cool.
bid, like this, astronomical, and then $2 billion, I think 2-1 or something like that. This one is different. This is basically everyone getting together, and there's gonna be a lot of bidders. Like, this is gonna be all a record. It'll be like probably more than $4 billion. Like, it's gonna be big. A lot of bidders get together. They submit what their bid was going to be, and then basically there's an auction, and the trustees have a fiduciary mandate, essentially, to take the most money. Like, it is their job to take the most money, and then that person, who it ends up being, needs to be okayed by the NFL, which includes a background check. So if you're part of one of the groups,
Wow.
I would make sure your stuff is clean, scrub your Twitter, all that stuff.
Twitter's good.
But that's kind of the way it works. And it is going to be, I'm telling you, like, the most competitive purchase we've seen in a very long time.
October 20th, 2010 might show up in that thing, but they know about it. They had to cover it.
Yeah.
I was in their league when it happened.
Yeah, no.
You can scrub it now.
I was watching a clip of your show last night on the Shams lunch tweets, and I was uncontrollably laughing, which rarely happens to me. That was very funny.
Hey, just real quick, Shams is a free agent coming up. Shefty's a free agent coming up. Woj is a free agent coming up. You're going to get a chance to just sit back and watch that whole thing cook, huh, in the insider game, and see what the best avenue is.
Yeah, I'm focused on myself.
Well, focusing
No,
on yourself, you should see what they do. I mean, that would be smart.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be watching. It's going to be interesting. They're all very good. I hope they all make a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah, that's the right answer, by the way. That is the rising tides with the boat, the rap sheet
Everybody
boat.
make a lot of money.
That'd be great. And by the way, it's a good time to be in a sports game. It's a good time to be in the insider game because there's an entire new path being blazed currently in the sports gambling world. And I think it's only going to get bigger.
I think so.
I think it's only going to get bigger. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's going more and more states I think, didn't New York just happened, right?
Shout out to
Yeah,
New York.
shout out.
Welcome.
That's me. That's my people.
And by the way, New York the thing why they might be not going to that Bills game is because they can just stay home and gamble on a game at home.
Yeah, you can gamble and go to the game, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can stay at home, watch 4K, have replays and everything like that.
Yeah, win your bet, pay for your ticket,
All right, we got a couple more questions for you, and we appreciate you. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Rapshi, you mentioned him earlier, Whitney Merciless. I don't think I was expecting him to come back, but it sounds like he actually might play next week. Have you heard anything else about the Packers? Any setbacks with Bakhtiari or Jair Alexander or Zadarius Smith? Any of those guys they're expecting to get back next week?
I was not expecting Whitney Merciless either, and I would, I always try to do a better job, right? You always try to do some self scouting. Like, 2 guys this week where I kind of was like, oh, they're out for the season, and both these guys are out here, Juju and Whitney Merciless, and it's like guys are getting so much better at rehabbing, and the medicine is getting so much better that some of these crazy things are now possible. I think Merciless probably has a pretty good chance to play. It was believe it was a bicep injury, torn bicep, had surgery, 3 months. So he has a shot. Jair Alexander is the one where I am not sure about. I think Bakhtiari plays, and like we talked about, like, he looked good the other day, and I thought he would maybe rusty. Like, no, like he's great anyway, and he looked really good. Extra week probably helps him, and then Zadarius Smith was fully cleared a week ago today. He's practicing this week, has had no setbacks, probably be as more of a situational pass rusher, but I think he probably plays too. And, all the Bills people got mad at me when I said the Packers are the healthiest team in the playoffs. Like, yes, the Bills are very healthy also, but rarely do you just drop all pros into your roster and like, all right, let's go. So Packers, unlike last year, Packers are getting stronger as they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and adding teams like Juju, adding players in that change the game, it affects the film study, it affects everything. You just got to hope that they kind of fill in and match in perfectly. Go ahead, Tone.
Ian, a couple other injuries. Are Naj and CEH going to be playing on Sunday night?
I think Najee should be good to go. He's practicing today. He finished the game last week. I honestly didn't even know he was injured until maybe a day later. So he finished the game, didn't practice yesterday or Wednesday, should practice today. Assuming he gets through today okay, he should play. I think CEH is in a similar place. I also know Tyreek was limited yesterday after being full Wednesday, but I was told he's fine. T. Higgins had a foot or a heel, was limited early in the week, and I believe he's fine. So we should get like real healthy, like, let's go for this weekend.
How excited are you for Super Wildcard Weekend, Rap? I am so pumped. I am so excited for tomorrow to start. I honestly am so excited to sit on a couch and just have one game on at a time, not have to act like I care about all of the games, which you have to, because when you cover it every single day, you have to at least watch them all. Sole focus. What happens third quarter, fourth quarter when those things get tight, or they're a complete blowout, though? Then we go run some, do some quick little... go get a drink.
Calisthenics.
Go eat some little bit.
Just dropping a Peloton. Yeah.
How many of these games are normally blowouts? Do we remember? Or is there normally good games through Wild Card Weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Should be, right?
I think so. I was a part of that Chiefs-Colts game that was, 28 points or something? We came back from like 24 or something like that. That looked bad. We came back and made it happen. Anything can happen. We appreciate you.
I mean, Texans, Colts.
Texans Chiefs.
Texans Chiefs. I'm sorry. Texans Chiefs were like it was like 24-0. What was that, right?
Yeah, first quarter, second quarter. I forget what it was. And that began their run of just miraculous comebacks. How you doing? Keep moving. We're going to win a Super Bowl. And
Ian, began the Texans like this.
Ian, well, they have been ever since. And now one guy's calling the plays, coaching up strategy, and drafting everybody. So, I mean, I hope it'll go well, and maybe he's the guy. He might be the guy. They played a lot better than we thought they were going to. That's because of Paisan Casario.
That's right.
Joining us like he does every single week. We can't thank you enough. Super Bowl champion every day, Ian Rappaport. Thank you. Appreciate you, Ian. Did we learn anything in there? Did we change any of our minds on any things?
I feel a lot better about the Bucs now after what he did.
Yeah, I mean, that was wild. So by the way, a lot of people are saying they feel good about the Eagles or whatever against the Bucs, because the Bucs, I guess there's a couple distractions that have happened, and I agree. If the Bucs were to go on and win this year, that would be unbelievable with all of the shit that has popped off. Obviously, not only Antonio Brown, but that's week 18 happening. That is wild. Maybe they're able to tighten up and go, and maybe this is something that actually Tom Brady says, yeah, fuck this guy, or yeah, let's go ahead and do it, which is what Tom has done for a long time. It's tough for me to take Jalen Hurts and Sirianni over Tom Brady. That's just very difficult for me to do. So I'm going to stay, I'm going to say that our same game parlay that we're going to be pumping is going to be a good one. It's going to be very pro Bucks too. So I feel bad about Eagles fans, but I believe that the Bucks are going to win that game. The Cowboys, Niners.
Ooh.
Now that is one where the Cowboys need to be a little bit nervous.
That's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, and if you look at the Super Bowl odds for the Niners and the Cowboys, and that was interesting to kind of see the Super Bowl odds. Yeah, there it is for the Niners Cowboys. That's plus 2,100 to plus 1,200. So I mean, pretty close there. Niners plus 2,100, also not a bad little
flyer
sprinkle.
No.
there.
Yeah, definitely not.
Just because if they do get into their rhythm of deboing people, they're good. Now, they've lost games, though, late in the season even. Like, a lot of people have seen the good late in the season. They lost a game, I think week 17 or week 16, where it was like they looked bad. Mm-hmm. And that could happen out of nowhere. You obviously never know in the playoffs. Which team is going to cement their legacy forever? Who's going to be having a reunion in 2031? Who's going to have names up on Ring of Honors because of the run that's about to happen? That is what is so glorious about the same game parlay holiday eve that we are in. We have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, but we know that the road to greatness is upon us, and I can't wait to get it started. We have a couple more hours here, then I got Omaha, Nebraska, SmackDown tonight, which I think is supposed to be full of surprises.
Here we
Really?
go.
I don't know, they don't tell me shit about the shows, but Cole said, hey, tonight should be fun for you.
All right.
A lot of
Here we go.
surprises. I'm like, all right, here we go. So then we got same game parlay holiday all weekend. Let's enjoy the hell out of this Feel Good Friday. We'll wrap up this hour with some phone calls on the other side. 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5-hour energy line. We'll see you in 4. They say, how do we play in the same game parlay holiday? And they say, show us the way to the same game parlay holiday. It's for the wild card games. It's the same game parlay holiday. That's this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question that pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, you know, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and you know, when we first got it, I would come in here and I would, you know, clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, you know, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, you know, like, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, you know what I mean, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down, and you know, I see, you know, we got a couple, you know, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey man, did you do this? Like, oh no. So, you know, one of them owned up to it. I said, look, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you a, you know, what I mean, we get you a broom and you know, you help us, we help you. You feel me? And you know, we put together a little, I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie. Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He's saying, sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel me? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show on the eve of the Same Game Parlay holiday at FanDuel this weekend. If you put a Same Game Parlay holiday together, or Same Game Parlay together on any of the NFL wildcard games or numerous wildcard games, if you bet $10 or $20 to $49.99 on Same Game Parlays, you'll get $10 back. You bet $50 to $99 on Same Game Parlays, you'll get $25 back. $100 to $199, $50 back. $200 plus, $100 back. Anything above, you're only getting $100 back. But I'm very proud of this. I'm very thankful for this. I'm excited for the money to come back. We're getting money back, win or lose, and we plan on winning.
Absolutely. Because that's the thing is, we're kind of going against each other, but we're also incredibly invested in what everyone else has got going on because we all want to win.
We're not going against each other.
Well, I'm saying we're not picking the same games.
No.
We have selective teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's
we're
still,
going with each other.
It's still one team, one dream mentality.
And for those watching at home, I do apologize that this doesn't directly affect you guys, but like the teams get $25,000 if there's hit.
Exactly.
So and it's not just one person that hits or one team that hits or the first team that hits. It's any of the teams that hit this weekend, whether it's me, Foxy, Dirty, and AJ, or is it Connor and Ty and Zito?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Or is it Dahn and Gumpy and Bruce for Hammer Dahn? Or is it Nick and Mike Rupp and Bailey McComas?
Hell yeah.
Well, we all know the That's Hockey Talk team has no shot, so we're just going to go out there. We're going to have fun with it.
I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. Enough of the self-handicap, and we're all going to win. And I heard, by the way, That's Hockey Talk had Bill McComas in the lab last night to help them out to put that parlay together. They actually have That's Hockey Talk has a very delicious looking parlay.
Pretty tasty.
Like there's a lot.
Can't wait for those things to post.
We asked Bill to go walk in the traffic so that we could turn it into a same-game death game parlay. Unfortunately, he was not willing to do that.
Bill, you don't deserve that. I hope you guys win, Bill. And if they don't give you a fair share of that $25,000, you let us know, by the way. Not that I'll do anything, because Rupp is,
But let us know.
But let us know, because we would like to talk about it. Zito was just telling me some things off air there quickly. Now that all these coaches are gone, stories are going to start to filter out about the time whenever they were at said organizations and programs. Zito's saying that he's reading on Twitter accounts that their stories coming out about Nagy and his players that not necessarily beloved by everybody.
Oh, really?
Zito, what are you reading or hearing up there?
I
And
think
by the way,
Mitch-
Zito, Chicago guy,
Yes.
Bear fan, plugged up there.
I owe an apology to Mitch right now, I believe, because there are stories coming out that Nagy would just tear him down in front of team meetings and shit. And I guess one time, Mitch said, "Your offense sucks."
To
Nagy
in front of people?
In front of people. And then-
That's probably why a relationship is over.
It deteriorated.
That is a quick
Shortly
way
after
for that thing to end. Hey, all your decisions are terrible. How about it? And then everybody's just watching to see on the chest.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's how you lose the locker room, by the way. That is actually how they're always talking, he's going to lose the locker room. He lost the locker room. He lost the locker room. We don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
We have no idea if that's
idea.
true. Shout out to Trubisky, by the way, for some point just kind of.
I love Mitch now. I always did. I always loved Mitch.
Hey, he might come back. Who knows?
Yeah.
We have no idea. You have no idea what it's going to. What's that?
Steelers.
What's
Colts,
that?
Steelers, maybe?
Steelers?
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mitch had that year.
Yeah.
Did he
Pro
not?
Bowl.
I mean,
yeah.
he
He
had
wasn't
that-
listening to Nagy. He was doing his own thing.
And they were moving, and then the next year they were so terrible, which is why everybody was like, Nagy, he stinks.
But if he wants to go somewhere with a good play caller, I wouldn't go.
All right, let's go to the phone lines here. I don't think we answered any, but there's people currently calling, so let's just answer them for them. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Pat McAfee Show. What do you want to talk about, dude? What's your name?
My name's Danny. I want to talk about the Eagles. I'm not feeling really happy about what he talked about, what he was saying about the Eagles. I really feel that the Eagles have a chance this Sunday.
How come? What do you think? Just because of everything that Ian said, and everybody's like, they run well, and running always does well in the playoffs, and they're mentally tough, and they were, he tilled the land, and he put the seed in the manure, and then now it's finally growing strong like a bamboo tree. It just took a little bit. Is that why?
Yeah, they've been creeping up this entire year. Yeah, maybe 7 losses doesn't look good on paper, but little by little, they're coming out, and, hey, I don't think Brady could really, if we punch him in the mouth, shout out to Brian Dawkins, if we punch him in the mouth before they do, I think we have the chance.
All right. Hey, anything can happen. This is just like Steelers Chiefs. Steelers are 12.5, I think, at the current moment, 12.5 point dogs. But if TJ Watt in the first series of the first play gets a strip sack or whatever, and Ben and Naj have a 15-yard drive for a touchdown, and then all of a sudden the Chiefs are playing a little bit in a different energy, different vibe, you could see how a path to victory would be there. And that's what wild card weekend's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts lost to the Jags.
Yeah, they did.
By the way, 12.5 point dogs, Steelers. Jags would have covered over the Colts.
Yeah.
Big time.
They got fucking killed.
They crushed them.
Bad.
Yeah.
And that's why the NFL is the greatest. That's why Wild Card Weekend, you never know what's going to happen. But imagine if TJ Watt gets a couple early. I mean, that is a game changer, and they have the player to do it in TJ. Other places, Philly, I don't know what they would.
Was that Nick Sirianni on the phone?
No, it's Danny.
I mean, you change your voice just slightly. It's kind of had the same cadence. And
How awesome would that be if Sirianni was calling into this show while they were filming him for content?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Sirianni's in his office just listening to us say, okay, so you're taking Sirianni and Jalen Hurts over Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. All right, get out. And then he's like, turn it on.
Call him.
He calls us. That would be great content. That would be incredible for a motivational video if they get going. I don't know if they're doing that. I don't know how much the Eagles listen, but I guess the Eagles, because they are a prolific run game and they have a quarterback that can make plays when all hell breaks loose, but he can also, he can also stink against a Buccaneers defense that flies around. Now, in the secondary, they're in a little bit of trouble, but I mean, this is playoffs now. This is the only thing all those people down in Tampa are down there for. Now, I know they made the playoffs and they won the Super Bowl last year, and winning the NFC South, which they did, is very important. I understand that. But the only reason why everybody takes pay cuts to go play with Tom Brady is to actually ring chase. Now it matters. I just feel like now is the time that all those high-profile folks will turn it on even more. I might be wrong, though. I'm not. This is me just reading humans. What was your face for right there?
No,
Dave?
it's tough. You're right. It's tough to bet against Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champions, especially.
And Gronk, too, by the way. You're betting against Gronk if you bet against the Buccaneers.
The Eagles, I believe, are 0-6 against playoff teams. That teams that made the playoffs, that's the worry for if you're an Eagles bettor.
Well, that's a stat. But just like Danny said, how early in the season was that for the Eagles? The Eagles became a different team once that thing started coming through the manure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once it started coming through the manure, they got buzzsawed, I guess, by Dallas. Did Dallas buzzsaw?
Oh, yeah. But that was against
no one's
Gardner.
playing,
But they
yeah.
did lose earlier in the year. They got buzzsawed by them, too, when Jalen was still playing.
Yeah, but maybe those calluses just have built up so strong on the Eagles that they are the most untouchable team that's in there. Jason Kelsey was giving a speech about how we got it. You know, we fucking got it in here. Jason Kelsey, one of the most legendary humans of all time. I guess you're betting against him if you're betting against the Eagles. But it's just tough for me to believe that the Buccaneers, and the only reason why they're there and they're still playing is for these moments, that they would just lay an egg. I don't think they would.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The Eagles, I think, do have the strength is their offensive and defensive line. So maybe you think if they can get to Brady too. But you mentioned it with TJ Watt. It seems like in all these wild card games every year, even more so than in the regular season, like in the playoffs, typically the team who protects the football and doesn't turn it over is going to win. So like you get a couple.
But once
of those.
again, the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Brady threw 3 picks in the NFC Championship last year.
And the Chiefs.
And they went on
Mahomes.
to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So maybe he's the anomaly.
He's Tom Brady.
Right, and it doesn't really matter what happens.
And that was the end of my Clontown video. Nothing makes sense. Nothing at all. The culture is supposed to be so good in Indianapolis, and by all accounts, it is. You watch on Hard Knocks, the culture is good. The players are good. The coaching is good. The building is good. And then in a must-win game, you go into a franchise that is literally either rebuilding new buildings at the current moment, or other ones are burning down, with a team that has no idea what its identity is going to be next year, let alone currently, and just get buzzsawed. Nothing matters. Except for the same game parlays that we put up.
Hell damn right.
Hell yeah.
Those are definitely going to be right.
Oh, yeah.
For the radio folks, have an incredible one. We'll see you. You're the best people on earth. Happy same game parlay holiday, dude. Cheers. So that is going to run in the third hour of radio.
Yeah. Well done.
So the noon hour. I said it earlier. I alluded to something earlier, though, about. I fucked up earlier.
We'll cover it up.
I doubt it. We don't have enough time to cover it up because
right when it goes live.
Yeah, as soon as this show ends at 2 o'clock, we're just putting that one up live. So I don't know if we'll be able to cover
put
it
a
up.
censor button over
Hey,
it.
got to get past the ads though. Do have to get past the ads before we get in there because we just replay the YouTube stream. So we'll be live on YouTube here in about on Sirius in about 6 minutes. But the third hour on Sirius will be taking the first hour from YouTube there.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and if we didn't have all position player, utility, God, Zito back there, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to figure it out.
We're a team here.
I mean, we definitely are a team, but there is a couple roles that you hold that
Not many others can.
You are a department.
Yeah.
You are your own department.
Thank you so much.
No, honestly, we thank you so much. But there's some shit that I assume that takes place at other places where they would call 15 people.
Oh yeah.
Like different, we need different managers. We need we need this person to come in here, get their thoughts on this. For us, something goes wrong. It's like, hey, Zeke, fucking figure it out.
I need you
What
to
do we
fix
do?
this.
Zeke, and then Zeke, you'll hear Zeke start like thinking it through. In theory, right? All we need to do, and it's like, yes, Zito.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Zito, that is exactly all we need
like
to do.
to talk it through.
Yeah, all we need to do is just get on air, Zito.
Yeah.
So all we need, is just energy going one way, right? And then the sound. Yeah. So in theory, we could just. All right, I need 72 wires.
Yeah, give me the rat's nest of cords.
All right, we'll go get it for you. Anything else you need, Zito? Anything
Some
else?
food, please.
I need some food. Maybe. Do we need another computer? I mean, that would work, but that ain't going to help us right now or whatever. It's like, all right, thanks, Zito. We'll see you in about an hour, dude. Good luck.
Yeah.
And he just goes to work. He comes back sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
Talking to him while he's trying to piece this together is impossible.
Yeah, don't do it.
There is no reason to even try to enter the brain that is currently. It's literally the Galifianakis gif of all those things coming together, but it's just like wires that have to plug into things. And we appreciate the hell out of you.
Thank you,
It always works. It always works.
It doesn't. Even when it doesn't, it works better because it's a whole story about what we attempted to do.
Yeah.
Zito tried to plug in a blah, blah, blah to a blah, blah. In listening, and we've told this, but anytime we get on a Zito is the best run, we have to add this in here. Zito will have conversations with tech people at other places that might be a little bit more
Polished.
experienced,
Professional.
educated. Yeah, they feel as if they are that. And then Zito will just say, well, can't we just insert answer here?
Yeah.
That we have already experienced, we have done, Zito's already figured out. And watching them immediately have to guard their egos in their brains, technically that would work, and then they have to explain why they don't do that or they can't do that. And it's like, okay, well, you're going to have to sleep tonight knowing that this guy was right, though. And even though we'll do it your way, it's not the right way. But just know that this guy, Dahn, Zito, who has no socks on right now, no socks on right now, just does not care at all about anybody else's noses. This guy just figured it out. You couldn't. And that's why we love you, baby Z.
Thank you guys. Love you guys.
All right, we're back in 3 minutes for hour 2. We will see you then. It'll be hour 1 on Sirius, though. Let's remember that.
Yes.
Hello! Big one of those.
for sure.
Welcome!
Feel good Friday.
All right, we'll see you in 3 minutes. And then. AJ!
Oh no!
I just want to let Robert Mathis went down. We're going to have to get another one for him. Goodness. Aaron went down. This is all your fault, though, because remember, you pushed everything.
Yeah.
Your towel was
I didn't move.
AJ. Can we please have a moment of silence for those 2 incredible pieces of art that I have been very proud to have on my desk?
I'm gonna be serious.
Robert's left foot is gone.
Hey, he still gets to the fucking quarterback.
Yeah, he can.
Let everybody know he still gets to the quarterback.
We need to get
Oh,
some
the
super.
hat is laid down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to debut a brand new Aaron Rodgers.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, he's right before calling timeout here. He's trying to take down the entire defense.
I give him. I'll take the under of 10 days before he's broken.
I'd like to shout out the artist that did this. The artist that did this, Big Sky Customs, Bob Brown.
Thank you.
Bob Brown. I'm sorry your work's gonna get broken on this show, Bob.
Dude.
It's going to get displayed on the
I know,
show.
put it on that
You're
whiskey
welcome.
bottle, yeah.
They say, how do we play in the same game, parlay, holiday? And they say, show us the way to the same game, parlay, holiday. It's for the wild card games. It's the same game, parlay, holiday. That's this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck
McAfee
are you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. Welcome to that show. Feel Good Friday, January 14th, 2022. Let's go. It's great to be here. We can't thank you enough for joining us on this same game parlay holiday eve. That's right. Same game parlays. You're getting 50% back at 4 different stages at FanDuel all weekend for NFL wildcard games. We can't thank FanDuel enough for this offer. We can't thank FanDuel enough for being the best sports book. We can't thank FanDuel enough for the incredible deal they gave us to be our exclusive sports book of the show and everything like that. But also, we can't thank FanDuel enough for all the fucking money we're going to win this week. Let's go, dude.
Here we go, boys.
Now we go.
You bet $20 on same game parlays on Wild Card Weekend, you'll get $10 back.
Okay.
You bet $50 on same game parlays this Wild Card Weekend, you get $25 back.
Whoa.
You bet $100 on same game parlays this Wild Card Weekend, you get $50 back. You spend $200 and bet $200 on same game parlays this Wild Card Weekend, you get $100 back.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, nothing in between. If you spend 60, you don't get 30. If you spend 70, you don't get 35. If you go 400, you're not getting 200. You're only getting 100 at the max. All the other things are tiered, but let's fucking get some money back. And let's not worry about winning or losing because that's money's coming back regardless. But if we win and we crack them over the head, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. Pumped.
It's a big time weekend for the NFL. It's a big time weekend for the show. Joining me are the incredible boys of the Toxic Table at Ty Schmidt, who does not have a horse in the race this weekend. Will just be watching as a spectator.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really going to enjoy it. Like you say, you don't have the multiple games on. One game at a time. Just kind of soak it in. Hey, we got to cherish these now.
I assume you're going to have a lot of whiskey. What?
What?
Is that what you're going to do?
Oh, yeah. A couple whiskeys. What? Maybe a couple beers.
What?
Tequila.
What?
Maybe some vodka.
What?
Bourbon.
What?
Gin.
What?
I'm going to get boozed up this weekend.
Yeah,
for
you're
sure.
probably going to miss the Saturday night game, which is a big one for the guy sitting right next to you at Boston Connor. I saw that you sent a tweet to at NFL officiating yesterday being a little snitch bitch.
Oh, sorry. I have to report the things that, could possibly go wrong. Like they say in Murphy's Law, everything that will go wrong can go wrong. Something along those
Everything that
lines.
can go wrong.
Will go wrong. So I don't want anything to go wrong on
Stat
Saturday
that.
night. Stat that.
Stat that
For
by
anybody.
the way. Well, I didn't appreciate the fact that, the man who's going to be joining us here and momentarily said something. Jordan Poyer was just like talking, we are getting pumped up. And then all of a sudden you're trying to paint a narrative about what this Buffalo Bills defense is. All right, they're already hated enough, the Buffalo Bills. Not a single Pro Bowler on the squad. They're the number one total defense, number one scoring defense. We don't need the NFL officiating looking into them because you're some snitch, dude.
Well, he did say that. And you know what? Now that you say it, Pat, they don't have any Pro Bowlers on their defense. Maybe it's because their fans don't give a shit. And they're not going to the goddamn game. And they're not getting loud enough for the team.
That's Saturday night.
How
Can't
about
wait to
that?
watch that. At Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys is here. 2 Chainz. I see you. Hey, you look good, dude.
Whoa.
You look good. He's got some sick shoes on today, too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tone came prepared today.
He did.
You got an event to go to? It looks like this is new Tone.
No, it's just
Friday Tone.
just Friday.
You look fucking good today, dude.
Adam, baby, Tony.
You look good, dude. We're all trying to get in shape for the Super Bowl.
That's right. Yes.
We're all trying to get in shape. This morning, I've been hitting the row machine, been doing push-ups, I've been boxing people, but none of us will ever reach the peak male that this male that is joining us now has reached.
Never.
Sure.
Whenever you talk about a chiseled jawline, you think, oh, here's the standard, this guy's face.
Yeah.
Whenever you talk about just hitting the ladder thing every morning for 30, 45 minutes, not stair climber, it's Versa climber. He 30, 45 minutes, so his arms just get yoked up and his pants get yoked up. We saw him the other day, national championship. He had size medium on top, medium on the bottom. Let's go ahead and let everything eat and had incredible shoes. He's just peacocking around all the times, not because he wants to, not because he's bragging, because his muscles won't let his goddamn arms sit down.
That's right. Muscle
This dude
bond.
is college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, and COVID survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall.
Baby AJ!
What's up, dude?
Yep, that's me. Just so jacked at all times. Can't put my arms down, right?
Hey, you are in incredible shape. Now, I do judge people on their legs, you know, how their leg size look. You know, like dudes that work out a lot, I'm always like, okay, but your legs look incredibly tiny. Did you never walk anywhere? Do you not do anything? Do you not understand that your base is very, for instance, Evan Fox's legs are twigs, and he'll just do curls and everything. Oh, we're getting after it.
Yeah.
But his legs will never grow.
Legs are very genetic, though. You know that, too.
Legs will never grow.
Whole family has chicken legs.
But you had pants on that were joggers almost. I can't wear those because of the calves. And I looked up. Your fucking AJ's legs are. Him and Aaron are just squatting all fucking day, I think. Is that all you do all morning is just legs? And are you still in condition to play? Let's get you out on that ball hockey tournament.
Yeah, here we go.
Let's get you out here competing a little bit. It looks like the body's ready to go.
I mean, yeah, I feel pretty good. Yeah, you have giant calves, giant legs, though. You know, calves are very, very genetic. Those are tough to grow, but also you can make your quads and ass grow. Squats, hey. If you squat enough, you're going to have to grow. Believe me, it'll happen.
So let's talk about your thoughts on squats and asses, because one of your main lines is, you know, no cakes is something you got to judge upon. And then when Aaron talked about Schefter's Lambeau Leap, I think he said no ass having. So you believe that the ass is earned, the legs potentially given.
Wow, that's interesting. Depends on where. No, calves are given. Calves they're a direct line to your family. I feel like I can look at a dad and I can find his kid from the calves if you see him walking around. That's pretty much easy to do. That's pretty easy to do. But as far as quads and ass, no, I mean it is genetic a little bit, but you can definitely build your quads up. Quads and hammies, oh yeah, you can put some mass on.
Well, that's different than your ass, right? I mean, are we talking is glute?
Your ass too, but you know, genetically, like some people are born with big bubble asses that are halfway up their back, and some people aren't.
And by the way, that is something we're talking sports that is judged in football.
Yeah, that's a big thing that scouts look at. Absolutely. Yeah, they're fulcrum on how they hit people.
You're not going to see a lot of flat ass dudes in offensive, defensive lines. You're not going to see a lot of explosive positions. You're not going to see a lot of flat asses. You're going to normally see some big old asses on explosive positions. Punter kicker is one of them, by the way. That is somewhere you got to move the ball. And also, if you're headhunting and trying to get Jordan Poyer in trouble with NFL officiating, you probably got to be explosive as hell. AJ, do you feel as if you are a little bit to blame for this tweet that this Boston stooge sent to the NFL officiating yesterday? Dear NFL officiating, the NFL is all about the safety of the NFL players, so this is upsetting. Today, Jordan Poyer said on the Pat McAfee Show that he and his teammates would for sure be headhunting Saturday night versus the Pats. Please investigate. Signed, concerned, unbiased fan.
That's right.
And then he says, go ahead and dive in, take a little closer look at that, please. He didn't want to report anything. He just said maybe it happened. Do you feel as if you're a part of this entire problem with what you said? You go, oh, you guys are going to be headhunting, huh? Here we go.
For sure.
Is that...
Well, that's the great thing. I thought this out before I even asked this. Jordan didn't say anything about headhunting. I said that. I said, oh, are you guys going to be headhunting? All he said was for sure. That could have been... He could have been answering something that I asked two minutes before that. We don't know.
True.
You screwed him,
AJ. Tech. Yeah. He was on Zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom
right.
is known for the tech thing. Yeah. He said for sure, because I think what we led into that was they get no respect or whatever. You know, it's prime time, that whole thing. You guys are going to show out.
For sure.
For sure. You're going to be headhunting on Saturday night. AJ just kind of dropped it in there, kind of snuck it in.
I went back and watched the tape. AJ is going to have to pay this man's $100,000 fine when something bad happens on Saturday night, okay? We should all be prepared for that, especially AJ.
So you guys are soft, it sounds like. You're a little bit soft, worried about a little physical football up there in Buffalo.
Yeah,
AJ,
sorry, Connor.
We're not as soft as Bills Mafia because they're not going to the game.
So that's what I was about to talk about. AJ, we talked to Jordan Poyer yesterday for 4 or 5 minutes about Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia basically getting a chance to host a playoff game and showcase that one of the best fan bases in all of sport in the weather and how you doing. This is Buffalo. There's tickets for like $25, $30 right now. A lot of them. When Jordan
to a playoff game?
Yes. Yeah. When Jordan Poyer said to me, hey, I got 2 suite passes for you if you want to go, I was like, oh, okay, so now I don't have an excuse, right? Like, not being able to get a ticket or having a suite is an easy excuse. Whenever he's like, hey, I got 2 for you, it's like, oh, there's no real excuse here. I appreciate that. And then once we got off the show and people started tweeting us, we might be able to buy like a few thousand tickets if we really wanted to. I mean, that's a real thing that's happening right now, AJ. I'm surprised. Are you?
Huh. Well, is this happening in other stadiums for the playoffs? Do we know?
Is it just a live event issue is what you're saying?
Yeah, like I honestly have no idea why this would happen. Like, what was their attendance like for their home games this year?
Okay, so zoom in. What are we?
The green dots are where there's seats available in those sections. So
every single section.
Every section, yeah.
Yeah, usually like it may be like the top deck. There may be some open.
Yeah, you'll see like a couple green dots, but like it's showing how many good deals they are. But like there's a lot of tickets available.
It's a joke. They haven't had a home playoff game since the '90s.
What does this mean? The Patriots fans don't travel?
They played last year against
They're waiting for the dip,
No
probably.
fans.
No fans. With the fans. He's saying.
Oh, yeah,
He's saying
yeah.
with the fans. Yeah, maybe it's the Patriots fan. No, but those lower levels.
It's a home playoff game. There shouldn't be tickets available for people who are Buffalo Bills fans.
Yeah, the Patriots fans should only get their allotment of tickets or whatever that they get sent up there. This is wild, but it would not slow down an incredible wild card weekend. There will be a lot of eyes on that primetime game.
Oh, yeah.
There will be a lot. Probably 20-some million. What do we think? 25 million people will come.
For sure,
at least.
for sure.
40-some million?
I think it'll be in the 30s. I don't know if it'll go to 40, but I think it'll be in the 30s.
And what's real and what isn't, and when it comes to those numbers. But all eyes are going to be on Wild Card Weekend. It starts with Raiders-Bengals tomorrow, AJ. Whenever you look at that game, what is your first impression, your first thoughts?
I mean, 5.5 points for the Bengals seems to be a lot, doesn't it?
Okay, so you like the Raiders.
No, I think I still may like the Bengals, but I just feel like that's a lot. I feel like these teams are more evenly matched than 5.5.
Well, 5.5 is obviously a lot whenever you're talking about a regular season matchup. But now that you're talking playoffs and all the other things that are going on.
I'm taking Bengals.
All right, I'm taking the Raiders. So are we doing this right now?
Yeah, might as well.
All right, I get the Raiders plus 5.5.
Here we go.
Just strictly because of the Bisaccia video that I saw last night where he was saying, hey, we got a blah, 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 and then number 7 for the
Zay
team.
Jones.
Who?
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones pulls him in and goes, hey, you're doing a great job, coach. And he goes, fucking you too, dude, and walks off. I'm like, that team.
That was awesome.
I think Bengals, yeah, it was. That was an amazing thing to see. I really appreciated that a lot. I wonder if Davis is looking at that while he's going through his IRS situation, if he's also looking at what the mic'd up situations are on the sideline with Richie Bisaccia. How's the family? Well, that guy gets the gig.
He should.
That'd be very cool. That'd be a very cool story. Let's go to the next game. Patriots Bills 4-point favorites at home. Not a sellout yet, but Bills Mafia will show up in a big way. Mac Jones, rookie quarterback, going into hostile environment that he knows a little bit about for a playoff game. AJ, your thoughts?
So am I picking first on all of these games?
I mean, maybe I wasn't.
That's fine. I can do it. I can pick first. So I've gotten both
5?
ways with this one. Have you?
Yes, I have no idea what to pick this one.
I don't either. But when I am questioning whether I should pick, like who I should pick, I'm going to lean to the Patriots. So I got Patriots at +4 here.
Give me the Bills -4.
Okay. I think the Patriots are going to win.
Especially with their fans not even showing up. Not voted in the Pro Bowl. Fans not showing up. I mean, that team is going to be humming. And the way Jordan Poyer spoke about Josh Allen, I found that really cool. Like he's excited. The defense is excited to see the offense grow and succeed. I don't think it's always like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think that is just a natural reaction. This is going to be a time where the Buffalo Bills cement their legacy as the new AFC East Kings.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I definitely do think when you play a team for the third time, like you can prepare or whatever, but it's going to come down to who's got the better quarterback. So it's an uphill battle for New England.
Yeah, New England, by the way, this is going to lay great foundation for this Mac Jones era.
Yeah, exactly.
This can be a part of a documentary, I think. Even if, I'm right and the Bills do win by at least a tud here, it'll still be a part of the doc. That year really taught us what we had, what we didn't have. I'm just thinking back to a brand new man in the arena, which is what Mac Jones basically is with goddamn Tom Brady here.
Yeah, great experience for the whole team, too, because a lot of these guys from free agency, they didn't have much playoff experience either. So, I mean, really the whole entire team's kind of getting a taste of the playoffs. Hopefully we can continue it next year.
But maybe they don't know what they don't know either. And,
true.
Why is Connor self-handicapping? He's not as confident as he usually is.
I'm not self-handicapping. I just think that there's a lot of things that are up against
Should I
the
change my
Patriots.
pick?
This is how he's been, by the way, all week. It's almost like a pretty realistic view on the world from the Patriots.
I'm doubling
fans.
down on Patriots then. Connor, I know you're scared. That makes me even more confident.
Hey, if you're a scared motherfucker, go to church.
Yeah, I'm
dude.
not scared whatsoever. I think Belichick is, going to have something up his sleeve, but Chuck said it yesterday. It's going to come down to 2 or 3 plays, and when we're watching the game, it'll be like, oh, okay, there's one of those plays that either went the Patriots' way or didn't, and hopefully it does.
All of these picks, AJ, we'll be able to watch the game, and while we're watching the game, we'll go, of course, I thought that, of course.
Yeah.
Of course that's going to happen. Of course. Give me the Bills. I like the Bills. Let's go. Eagles, Bucks, 8.5 there. 8.5-point favorites at home, 1 p.m. game in Tampa. Who knows what the weather's going to be like? Nobody has a clue what the weather's going to be like in Florida, but let's assume there's going to be a little breeze. Let's assume there's going to be a breeze down there. It might be a slick track, which is Florida, humidity anyways. It's just going to be a standard game here down in Tampa, I think.
Yeah, 8.5 is a lot, but I like the Bucks to cover 8.5.
Hey, me as well. Just because 8.5 is so much, and people are saying the Eagles got a chance, it's like, well, that obviously means that the Bucks are going to fucking blow them out. That just, that just. No offense to the Eagles. This is another one of those documentaries where the flowers will be growing through the manure. Oh yeah. This will be another one of those situations, setting themselves up for the future. Is Jalen Hurts quarterback of the future there?
I think so.
Feels so.
Okay.
You're going to get a phone call, another one from Sirianni.
Wow. Nobody's answering a call, so they're actually just popping in live over here. So we don't know who's. Let's answer this one right here. 5 Energy phone line. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What do you want to talk about?
My name's Paulie. I'm from Rochester, New York. I want to talk about how Connor has no fucking clue what he's talking about in terms of the Patriots and Bills game.
All right, that was a good call.
That was a good call. Yeah.
I like that call. We should do that a little bit more often.
That was awesome.
Connor, you did not deserve that, but that was a good call. Let's go to Niners, Cowboys. Niners getting 3 points in Jerry World. Connor, you did not deserve that.
No,
in Jerry World, Dallas favored by 3.
Yep, the Niners. The people are looking at them as like the hottest team in the NFC, possibly the NFL right now, and the scariest team. But guess what? Big Mike's going to be smashing watermelons the night before.
Is that inside source?
Yeah,
is that inside source?
No, that is not inside source. But I had a vision this morning of Big Mike holding 2 sledgehammers and going right, left, dong, douche, just smoking watermelons.
Dish.
Yep.
All right, I love that. 49ers Cowboys is the game that the Hammer Down Boys will be putting their same game parlay for the same game parlay holiday on. What are you guys feeling? How are you guys leaning? Just so I know, get a little bit heads up because old same game parlay holiday Gumpa Claus back there with his glasses. We'll start with you, Gump. What are you guys leaning?
Niners all the way.
Okay, Diggs, how come and why? How do we feel?
You get your tongue pierced, Gump? What's in your mouth?
What's wrong with you,
Something's in his mouth. It was like he had a beads in his mouth or something. A tongue ring.
You need fucking glasses, dude.
Did you really?
You need a pair of these.
He didn't. Did he? How Pat's laughing makes me think he really did.
No. I'm just laughing because you are the most ridiculous human I've ever.
Cowboys -3 for me. Sorry, Gump. It honestly looks like you had a tongue.
There's not enough fucking watermelons in the world for Big Mike to smash to win this game.
Yeah,
AJ.
it might have been It might have been a toothpick on old Gumpa Claus, dude. He's been in the lab. Get out of this guy's life.
It's always Gump.
Have you ever had you ever have somebody in your group though that showed up after getting their tongue pierced and he says, "I can't talk like this"? It was worth it. I said, it'll be good in a week. They said it was a lot of fun. Oh, okay, cool. They shot a piece of your tongue out of your mouth there, and now you can't speak for 2 days. But it'll be worth it, dude. When that thing's clanking around and you're having the best. You get it. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, we're on the Niners.
How come?
No good reason.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Dissension.
Trent Williams is back.
Dissension.
What?
Trent Williams is back. They're going to run the ball all over Dallas.
What? Hammer Down is this show that's been on a heater for 13 months at this point.
That's fucking Diggs. That's what he does, dude.
Hey,
we
why-
love the Niners.
Why you want to know? Hey, we don't know. He's kind of boom. No good reason.
I wouldn't even waste the points. Niners money line.
All right, Foxy, what were you going to
Yeah,
say?
head odds maker John Sheeran was on the show yesterday. Out of all the picks, he loves the Niners.
Oh, hammer down Foxy.
But is that guy
Is he
working
cooking?
for
Is this-
FanDuel?
Honestly, that crossed my mind as well.
What's
He
the
does.
angle?
He
This is
sets
like
the line.
This is like poker, right? I mean, we're playing against this dude, John Sheeran, who is a legend, and he is on Hammer Down. He is a great conversation. He is the actual guy we're playing against.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him and his team are the actual people that are setting the lines. So you have to wonder, what type of shit has that guy?
Because he was telling us a lot. Like, I didn't expect him to tell us all this stuff.
But once again, this is also we are playing against this dude.
Right. Yeah.
And his record is how he does against the public, right?
Yep.
And maybe he just thinks like, we kill I mean, it doesn't matter. I love that. If that's the style of odds maker he is.
Yeah.
If he's just like, we'll give you guys a couple on hammered
like
down.
it.
Niners, what? Just
It's a lot.
don't even ask. And Dick's like, you got it. All right. We won't even ask. And then he's given a couple other ones. How has he done in the past when he's come on the show and said like he doesn't like this or he likes this?
Well, he said that he loved Georgia, so that was the last time that he was on.
Okay, so I'm on
Everybody
Niners.
said that.
No, you and me, dude. We're the
Everybody
only-
but us.
Nobody
I'm
said
saying
that.
people that were picking, like people that actually do this. They said they like Georgia.
But Alabama did have like 60% of the money or something like that, just strictly because, like you and me, AJ, is Saban coaching?
Yep.
Saban's winning.
Yeah.
And we don't know shit about fuck. Okay, so he likes the Niners. All right, so I like the Niners as well. +3, getting points. Maybe Dallas wins. Maybe this is a big deal. I don't know. Jimmy G ain't going to be throwing the ball much, so Dan Quinn and that defense, are going to run through the lifeline of that D-line. Will Jimmy G be able to make a couple plays when he has to? I think so. Why not?
He looked unbelievable in the second half last week. And I mean, Debo's getting 35 touches. Shit, he might throw 5-10 passes. He threw a touchdown last week. Like, he's electric.
Bosa's probably still eating.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All right, so I got the Niners.
See, I wish they weren't playing each other because I like watching both of these teams play. So it's a shame one of them has to go.
Concur. I absolutely concur. And the Niners just a few weeks ago laid an egg.
Yeah.
So there is a chance that, and Cowboys have done the same, I guess, throughout the season. So it's wild card weekend, dude.
Yeah.
Steelers, Chiefs, Sunday night football. We're probably gonna lose by 20. We stink. We're playing against the number one, not the number one seed, number one team by all accounts. Super Bowl champion team in their home. Might as well just go out there and let it fly. AJ, your thoughts early on this game?
Well, with Ben, first off, when he was speaking, he sounded at times a little bit like Diggs when I would hear him self-handicap and do all that, which made me feel better about the Steelers. So I'm going to take the Steelers at +12.5.
Diggs is a ghostwriter for your favorite promos,
Correct.
dude.
Yeah, there's not a number big enough that you could pay me to take the Steelers on this one.
Yeah, but you've been saying this for the last 4 weeks and they made the playoffs. So
I didn't say they were winning.
You like Steelers +12.5?
Yeah, I like Steelers with the points.
So the interesting thing is 12.5 looks like a lot, strictly because it's next to all these other ones.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, 12.5 is a lot of points. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. But Colts lost to Jags by 15.
Yeah.
And can the Steelers score enough points?
Yeah. And
Juju's back.
Yeah, it's Tomlin's
Last
team.
time the Steelers were more than a touchdown underdog in the playoffs, it was the 2005 Colts.
And we all know what happened there.
Oh, is that the fumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steelers went all the way that year.
Won the Super Bowl.
But they didn't. They covered, though.
Yeah, they won and covered and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You got the Steelers, you?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers with the points. I'm hoping at least maybe the Steelers get a cheap touchdown or two at the end.
Oh, like an empty netter.
Or they just keep it close. I think their defense could play well. I think TJ Watt, man, if TJ gets 4 to 5 sacks and 4 to 5 caused fumbles, we're in a good spot.
I think so, too. Maybe alternate spread that thing down to 11.5.
John Sheeran was also pushing the black and gold a little bit.
Okay.
He was.
John Sheeran was doing this? Man, just that. Oh, this is what I always. No, Steelers. I'm not doing it with the Chiefs. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Every week it feels like with the Chiefs, it's not enough points. The Chiefs are going to blow them out, and then they don't. And this is Tomlin and the Steelers
And
defense.
TJ.
Minka.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We're on. In hockey talk, this is what you guys are on who? What are you guys going to lean towards? Steelers, yeah?
I don't
Nick.
think we took.
Oh, for the same
Final
game
result.
parlay.
Yeah.
Smart.
We didn't either.
Smart. That's
Yeah,
smart
stayed away.
because we don't know. You're betting on players, not teams.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, give me the Steelers +12.5. Monday Night Football. We'll deal with that on Monday. I'm happy we got through that and did that. Hey, good luck to you, AJ.
We go,
Good luck, boys.
We go, boys.
Good luck to you. I think we had a lot of them that we were opposite, right?
Yeah, 3.
We started, early. We started with, the first two. We're going to do the opposite. So we're going to learn a lot about each other here. You know what I mean?
Just the Bucks and the Steelers, you guys.
I had a bad week 18. You had a good week 18. So you're on a heater.
Is that why we didn't show the results? Because I never knew what I did on that day, that week.
To be honest, it slipped to mind. We should bring it up. We have it, I believe. I think I went 6-10. I thought I went 1-15.
I thought I went 1-15 too.
You did not. You did good. My account, though, my FanDuel account.
Get kicked in the teeth.
Look at that, 6-10. You went 8-8, dude. That's a good week by you.
In that week, that was a weird week.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, the Colts lost by 15.
I took the Jags there.
Did you really?
Yeah, look. I remember taking them. What was the spread again?
We might have to check the
15,
tape.
I think. 15 or 16.
Yeah, it was 15 or something. Of course I took the Jags.
Covered by 31. Golly. That thing was at 35, too, for a while.
Yeah.
AJ was sitting up 35 in, like, the second quarter already.
He knew.
Jeez Louise in that game. It was a hell of a year by us, though, by the way. We stuck to something.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
You know, that honestly never happened.
Because didn't it start? It just kind of happened to pick the games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the comments were like, this is awesome. We need this every week.
And people watched it every single week. It was like, this is not something I thought anybody would watch or give a fuck about, but hey, we'll stick to it.
Turns out they wanted to hear
It's one of our good segments, and, you know, being accountable is good too. You know, seeing what we are the week after, that we both went on a couple runs, I think, for a few weeks. I hit for a couple. You hit for a lot. We won people some money, I think. Overall, we were probably up, I think, as a combination, which is good. Hey, all right,
Go,
dude.
boy.
Well done, boys.
There were some weeks I was bad, but you were up big. And you had a couple downs, and I went up big. I mean, I feel like as a team, if we're not just going strictly against each other, which we did because hey, I'm smarter than you, dude. But I think as a team, given pick, we were up. I think as a whole, we were up.
For sure, yeah.
It's also a great reminder every week. As much as you two know football, it's impossible to pick these fucking games.
We don't know football.
Yeah. I mean, coaches. You could have coaches pick them every week,
Exactly.
and they don't know either.
You could have the coaches for the teams that are playing pick them, and they would have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Hey, you think your team's going to score over 20 this weekend? Absolutely. Absolutely. And then they go out 3.
Yeah.
What happened? Well, we couldn't have expected it.
No idea.
Couldn't have expected that. We thought it was right bet. Hey, it was right bet against that defense.
Players didn't execute. We had a great scheme. They just didn't execute.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side, wrapping up this beautiful same game parlay holiday eve.
It's good to be here on hour 1 here with Sirius.
Hour 1 on Sirius, dude.
Yep.
Woo.
Love it.
Got one of these, AJ?
Nope, I don't.
AJ's going to have to leave early after the second hour.
Oh,
Of course.
So that's why he was saying hour 1 of Sirius. He would not be here
Sorry,
for hour
guys.
3 of Sirius. But Ian Rappaport will be joining us hour 3 of Sirius.
Nice. Thank you, Ian.
Also joining us today, Steve Smith Sr. will join us 1 hour from right now.
Okay.
Okay, to talk about that Utah State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, Utah.
Ohio State Rose Bowl.
Utah University of in Ohio State.
Boom.
Yes.
Go Utes.
Go Utes, dude.
Shoot.
How'd the Utes do?
They got beat.
Lost by 3.
Best game of the
Remember Hulu?
Oh, yeah, it was on Hulu during day 1.
Yeah.
Great bowl game. I'm happy Steve Smith Sr. is coming on to talk about that a little bit and everything else happening in the NFL. Can't wait to get his reaction to what the fuck is going to happen this weekend, who he hates, who he loves, and all that. We'll be on the phones after this 4-minute break. 1-833-4-McAfee. We don't have anybody answering, so we'll be answering them live on the air. All right, let's go. We'll see you in 4. Cheers.
I want to tell you a story. A story about a young man who once had a gambling problem, perhaps, before all these FanDuel sports books. The greatest app, the greatest place to gamble existed. There were bookies, there were illegal gambling rings. And one time, yes, I was part of one. And I could not pay my bill, per se. I broke my legs. But now, because of FanDuel Sportsbook, they saved my life. That's why I will always gamble with the #1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel Sportsbook.
know what my life consisted of yesterday after that game ended?
What's that?
Bunch of fucking clown emojis with mustaches burying me.
Oh, no.
I mean, burying. There's a bunch of, I mean, it was nonstop, same emoji. Sorry, last one. Maybe, says Penny's thoughts. Just fire, Balky. There's another one. I'm here for this douche's meltdowns. A clown. Teal Tomahawk. And then Dahn, back and put respect on Jag's name when you talk about, because they're Colts kryptonite since the top 3 quarterback retired. AKA, man, y'all motherfuckers got the first pick in the draft again. Ain't nobody putting respect on you. You're not putting respect on your teams. Have you got a clown as your fucking emoji? But this is what I actually kiss our teal asses. Good morning, Pat McAfee Show. Just a reminder, the Colts will not be in the playoffs. Matt Hall!
Come on, Matt.
This team has not been in the playoffs.
Come on.
And he is just in right in sending this to me. This clown is right. Because what happened yesterday, after that game yesterday, and then it's not just.
Oh, my God.
By the way, it's not just clowns on the internet around Clown Town, Duval County.
Holy
okay,
shit.
this whole thing has kind of crept into our group text messages.
Absolutely.
So our group text messages this morning, as we're getting ready for the show, lots happening. You know, a lot of coaches were fired.
Yeah.
Flores, he won 8 of the last 9 games. See you later. Nagy, Zimmer, Fangio. I'm talking, there's a lot of big time news happening around the NFL that maybe we could talk about instead of the Colts thing, but no. Even in the group text, they just sent this over like 20 minutes ago. A perfect QBR, 100.
Okay.
Average QBR, 50.
Makes sense.
So it's not like grades. Average would be 70s,
Right.
70s or whatever. In the NFL quarterback QBR, 50 is the average. In a play-in game, okay, which I didn't know it was. I assume they did.
Yeah, I would guess they did.
Maybe.
And last week, by the way, against the Raiders was as well, I guess.
Right.
I mean, and how's your family? What a fucking win. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
Because Staley's ended up on the side of a stat that isn't that great, but it'll be ignored because the greater stats say something different. Whatever.
Stat
that. That was actual. They're not like your bullshit.
Well, I still think mine are.
In a playing game against the worst team in football, number 1 pick again.
Yep.
Carson Wentz posted a QBR of 4.4. What are we doing?
Yikes.
Is that a real number?
I don't know where the 4.4 came from, to be honest, after watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there was a completion or 2 out there, but what the fuck happened? Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. The sounds you were hearing musically are from DJ Griff.
Thank you, Griff.
Hell yeah.
This one makes you feel good down in your soul, doesn't it, AJ?
I had a dog named Griff.
Rest in peace to Griff, it sounds like.
It was Griffey after Ken Griffey Jr., but yeah, we called him
nice.
Griff.
Hey, that dog could catch a ball, couldn't it?
Sometimes.
What type of dog?
Golden Retriever.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful dog. What is that? He does this one, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. The kid.
Backwards hat on.
I learned from my mistakes. I didn't bash the TV there.
Smart.
You almost got the camera. It was sweet.
I forget that one's up there every once in a while. I'll stand on this chair and I'll just block Diggs' view completely.
The football always gets it.
Yeah, when I throw it up there. Yeah, it's like, these things are concealed in here. I think Radio Row is happening, AJ.
Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And I think there's going to be a place for fans, too, if anybody wants to come say what's up.
Ooh.
Like a place, fans are going to be like walking up and, in and out of Radio Row?
I believe a cop just landed on the roof.
Yeah.
It'll be nice when we have a ceiling.
Yeah.
Very.
Even though it was almost blown off the other day because the gas pipe.
That's a good point.
But there's going to be an area for fans, I believe, like a section for fans to come by there.
Like a mosh pit.
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work with the whole, other protocols and
6 feet
stuff.
apart.
True.
No mosh pit.
But I think people are going to be able to come say what's up. That should be fun. We're going to go live, I think, for a total of 4 hours over there daily, Tuesday through. The set looks sweet.
Yeah.
The set from FanDuel they're putting together looks very sweet. Yeah, I'm very excited for you.
So will we be able to, we'll stream it on YouTube just like normal from there?
Everything will be the exact same. Yeah, I think we're actually getting better internet there than we have here. So
Whoa.
yeah. That was the main question. Hey, we need good internet. And Zito had to sit down with the tech folks and say, this is what we need. All right. And they said, well, don't you think you're going to need more than that? And Zito goes, you guys have been wasting money for decades. We don't need all of that stuff. But yeah, the show should be good. We're excited for it. Obviously, the guests at Radio Row are always pumping some bullshit, but we'll at least be able to be there and have a good conversation with a lot of people. I think we're also going to have an opportunity on my desk for a camera to be controlled by my desk to turn around and shoot other people that are in their shows that are happening. Maybe, like young Jeezy is walking from Look at Jeezy, this guy. Look at it. So we're going to turn it into quite a show, I believe. I don't know if the NFL knows that, but that is the thought going in, and hopefully it works out well, AJ. Hopefully it works out.
It's going to be fun, especially if you have that camera for the crowd.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it.
You're right, because they need that, because I'm sure we will comment on just the whole time about who's walking by and who, what's going on.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I was going to say, when we first went down there, the first Radio Row we did, Joe Schmo like me, I tell you what, you see a lot of stars walking by there. Like, Jesus Christ, that's CC Sabathia. You kind of forget that you're there to actually
random
entertain
ones too,
other people. Oh, yeah.
Random actors too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, that's where we saw your friend that got jumped in Hawaii.
Oh, Mai Tai.
Mai Tai. We saw Mai Tai doing his interviews, walking around. He was pitching some movie that still hasn't come out.
Yeah, Top Gun.
Has that movie come out yet?
No. Tom Cruise is beginning to lose patience.
He was busy saving the industry.
Who?
Tom.
Yeah.
Making
Remember
another
that
movie
speech?
that hasn't come out.
Tiny Tom is doing what right now, dude?
Yeah, trying to save the film industry.
But Miles was pushing that movie 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. He went on with Rome right next to us and talked about it.
Yeah,
Clones. Yeah.
That entire clones. But anyways, yeah, we understand that with our attention span and us being there before, I understand everybody wants to see who we're talking to, but that is going to quickly turn into us going, holy shit, is that MC Hammer?
Yeah.
And then just zooming in on MC. Oh, no.
I'm just thinking about it now. We got to get you a telestrator, too.
Yo, yeah, to do a little.
Just jump in that
Look at
thing.
this dude just did. Yeah, I think we're going to get some good guests. We're going to reach out to some people, see if they'll be able to stop by in person. LA is a place where people will travel to go do stuff, I think, AJ?
Oh, yeah. Do you know any idea when you're going out?
Tuesday through.
Sweet. Okay.
So that means, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, potentially live.
Ooh.
But he'll be at the hotel because they'll be getting ready for Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they're not.
Come on.
No, they are. They will be.
Come on, dude.
They will be. What are we even talking about? Let's go to the phones. Let's go to 5 energy phone line. That decision was made, I think, finalized yesterday, by the way. That's a big deal. We did it.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
I'm excited for that. Hopefully we'll be able to see some people there,
I hope it's like normal Radio Rows somewhat,
It feels like I might be wrong, I guess, because shit's shutting down again, right? Isn't stuff shutting down in places?
Oh, yeah. There's, mask mandates going. I think Omaha, where you're going, they just started a full-blown mask mandate for a little while.
The Omaha?
What?
I saw it trending. Omaha, for some reason, is trending, and bam.
Is that real?
It's not shutting anything down, but I think there's like a mask mandate.
I
A lot of places are doing it.
I arrived in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and I just walked right in. I'm like, down here in Georgia, this is Commissioner Sankey's. Hey, we're playing football down here.
Yeah.
I walked into that arena and everybody had a mask on. I was like, oh shit, we're doing mask. Everybody's doing masks. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't have it. I do not have it. Does anybody have a mask? And this one's not actually a good mask now by the CDC. I'm like, oh, we're doing this again. Do you got any of the N95s around here, dude? They're like, oh, we don't, but we'll get you to one. I was like walking around. Every human I saw had a mask on except for me. I'm like, I'm looking for an N95 right now. I am so sorry. I did not know this was the case. You're telling me that's what's happening in Omaha right now? I'm going to arrive like a jackass? I don't know.
I thought I read something about
We
it.
might have an N95 line around here somewhere.
I think there is.
There has to be at least a couple.
I don't know what one you have to wear. I don't know if it's specific.
Oh, you don't know. You don't get it.
You're right.
This guy doesn't care.
Come on, AJ.
What is this guy's problem? There was a time early in this pandemic where certain masks were good and certain masks were bad.
Still is. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then that conversation kind of, tampered off a little bit, and everybody was just masking. Hey, we're doing our masks. People selling masks. We're doing it. Then that conversation has come back in the forefront now. Which masks are good and not good? Whenever we got, people in stands with like 100,000 people.
Different variants.
It's all going to work out. Hey, it's all going to work out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
Real soon.
I think so. At least before next season, right?
Feels like it. Yeah, it feels like we're almost, we're pretty much at the end of it.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to line 3 here. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jared from Kentucky.
Hey, down there in Kentucky, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Hey, I want to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Raiders. Do you think they got a chance to beat them and make a run for the Super Bowl?
What do you think? Life is good being back on top of the AFC North for the Bengals. You think they got a good opportunity here against a Raiders team that doesn't have a coach, lose a couple of their big-time players? The IRS is investigating them. They got to come over to Cincinnati. Derek Carr, not great in cold weather. You guys got to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I can't wait. We're going to kill the Raiders, and we're going to win the Super Bowl.
I like that. Hey, that's Cincinnati right there. Now, technically, that's Kentucky, I guess, which is right across the river of Cincinnati there. Is Kentucky just claimed the Bengals, yeah?
Definitely northern Kentucky areas. I'm sure would. But, yeah, they don't have a pro team, so who else would they go for?
So they rested, like West Virginia, a lot of Steelers fans in West Virginia, northern West Virginia at least. I don't know about southern West Virginia. They might be Washington football team fans, which is going to have a new name here soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, that's coming up.
Second.
Couple weeks.
That's coming up. Legit.
Can't wait.
Thought that was leaked again.
What are you talking about?
Well, we don't know.
Armadillos or whatever they are.
Trusted sources.
Well, Boomer's working hard trying to get all the information for us, and we appreciate him. Nonstop work ethic. That guy going from literally midnight to noon.
Yeah.
Noon to midnight.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every day.
Every day.
You know?
7 days.
Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday. Yo, that's what Boomer's doing every single year for the last 3 decades. But he allegedly had an inside source on what the name is of the new Washington football team. They got to lay that out there. But back to the Bengals. I mean, home playoff game. They rested Joey last week. They rested a couple of the other guys. It feels like that's a very confident program over there. Is everybody in Ohio like incredibly excited about this team that could potentially go on a run, AJ?
I think everyone in Ohio, at least that's Bengals fans around me, which a lot of people are, they're very excited, but they're not crazy nervous like they have been maybe in the past for big games. I know this is a playoff game. It's bigger. They haven't done it forever. But they seem to be pretty confident. Like, okay, yeah, we love Joe Burrow. We have tons of weapons. And they like the defense. So I think they feel pretty good about this one.
You think they win a Super Bowl, he'll build an indoor facility or what?
No, why would you? It just proves that everyone else should tear theirs down if they win.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people telling me that. Oh, the Colts have an indoor facility? How they didn't make the playoffs, dude? I'm like, okay. All right, so you're telling me a place to get extra work in at midnight when it's ice cold is a bad thing to have for a fucking...
Do it outside then. You play outside, therefore you punt outside at midnight.
Dark out. You don't see the balls.
Doesn't matter. Who
AJ, you guys were eating nachos from the concession
you
stand.
Ohioans, dude. You Ohioans need to just...
At the restaurant.
I get it, okay? And right now you can grandstand on this Bengals team, which is defeating all odds and obstacles that nobody else has to go against in making the playoffs. I'm just saying, they lose, they don't win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, teams that have won the Super Bowl in the last 20 years all have an indoor practice facility. That's a stat as well. So let's not leave those hashtag stat.
Hey, maybe there's a reason. Maybe they can't put a bubble up over one of the things. I don't know.
Because the highway's right above their field? Like, we can't build a bubble because the highway.
There's a concrete plant, too, that makes concrete right next to it.
Well, then move the team to Sandusky or something where you can, have an indoor facility. I mean, are we kidding me?
Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Tom Callahan.
Nebraska.
Bingo. Perfect. He's an American man. Makes American parts for the American workers.
That's Ray Zelinsky.
Ray Zelinsky.
Who the fuck is that? That's the guy from...
the guy who's buying Callahan.
That's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ends up being the good guy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
The bad guy is the guy is the son of the new wife.
Yeah, because they were...
Actually,
Rob Lowe.
They're actually boning each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Bob Lowe.
He's peeing on electric stuff.
Oh, yeah. Bob Lowe respects the
right.
I do remember that. Anyways, good luck to the Bengals. Hope you win a Super Bowl and prove that, everybody else has been wrong with indoor practice facilities and an ability to get better without, gale force winds potentially showing up out of nowhere, which could happen.
Hey, to their defense, though, it may cost upwards of $1 million to put a bubble over one of those fields. Their team may only be worth like $2.5 billion.
It would. It probably is so cheap. I mean, Duquesne, the school that this guy went to, if they had more grass, they'd be considered an Ivy League. In his words, I don't know if that's an actual true statement or not. That's what he said. They had a bubble over their turf. They play D-nothing football, and they have this bubble over this AstroTurf that We played sock. What's that,
A
dude?
little respect, dude. 1AA,
Yeah,
FCS.
I understand. You guys
Fucking
were
North Dakota State. Carl Wentz.
Hey, you were a baller, dude. I understand, and I get that there was a lot of great football players on that team.
That's right.
But with that being said, Duquesne means nothing in the grand scheme of a lot of things, and they were the place that had a bubble over their field, and it was like, this is very simple. Just blow some air in this thing, and you all of a sudden have, none of the inclement weather that could potentially fuck up a practice, a session, and extra time. But what do I know? Maybe the Bengals go win a Super Bowl without it and prove that everybody else has been wrong.
Yeah, feels like it might be a shootout, too, between the Raiders and the Bengals. Who knows with Derek Carr, but feel good about the game.
Let's go to line 6 here. Thank you for calling the Pat McAfee Show. What do you want to talk about? Who are you? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Pat? Dylan from Florida.
Hey, down here in Florida, you got to sign a petition, I think, to make sure sports gambling gets in there. You need to tell all your friends as well. Let's go ahead and make this happen so FanDuel can come on down. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I want to talk about Jordan Poyer being named first team All-Pro, but he's not a fucking Pro Bowler. What's up with this?
Okay, thank you so much. What do you say? Zito was in my ear.
Jordan Poyer, All-Pro, first team All-Pro.
Hey,
not a Pro Bowler.
congrats to Jordan Poyer, by the way. That happened, I believe, to Pac-Man Jones as a returner.
Devondre Campbell I saw was All-Pro. I don't think he was named to the Pro Bowl.
He wasn't.
And All-Pro, by the way, once again, that is completely made up of a list of people that are just the Hub Arcushas of the world. That is Associated Press. That is voted upon by media people. Not broad brush painting here that they all stink, but there's a chance a lot of them do stink and not know exactly what they're talking about, maybe have some biases. Not all of them and not a majority of them. I'm just saying there might be a few in there. So you kind of got to hold all these things in certain realities, but shout out to Poyer getting a little love.
Yeah. It's actually the same people who vote on the MVP award.
Aaron Rodgers received 34 of 50 All-Pro votes at quarterback, a strong sign he's in line to win his 4th NFL MVP. Hey, let's go! Hey! Once again, this is an award given by people that maybe not all of us care about all of them, but that's a huge legacy milestone that we awarded to him weeks ago, AJ.
Do you think he's going to win? I feel like they're making this Brady push, I feel like.
Well, Brady is Brady.
I mean, you can easily say, like, whoever wins it between Brady and Aaron, like, yeah, of course, they both deserve it, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. When they try to put up Brady's numbers with Aaron's and all that stuff, I don't know.
Hey, Brady's numbers are incredible. He's
They're
leading
great.
a team up there. They won the NFC South. I mean, he has the most touchdowns in the NFL this season, the most yards in the NFL this season. Those are two very important stats when it comes to quarterback play, and quarterback is the most important position in all of football. With that being said, Aaron Rodgers played damn near perfect football for 17 weeks.
Yeah, well, right. Really, after week 1.
So I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. It's a great debate. I'm excited to see who it is, and I don't think like, would Aaron be pissed? I don't know. Aaron wouldn't be pissed about it.
I mean, he's not going to be throwing stuff whenever. I'm sure he would be pissed internally. Yeah.
He can't control it, though, so you can't really allow it to beat you up. And if any of these books that, he has said he would like others to read says, kind of one common narrative through there is like, if you can't control the outcome of something, like there's no reason for you to spend extra bullshit time on it. But I think Aaron, especially after he played catch in Montana with Tom Brady, would say, all right, he had a hell of a year as well. But he's played perfect football. I mean, that is Aaron Rodgers threw 37 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions this season. He now has 3 seasons of at least 35 passing touchdowns and 5 or fewer interceptions. Every other player in NFL history has combined for just 1. Hey, Tom sent me a gift, so I got nothing but I got nothing but love for the GOAT. I think he had a great year, but I mean, I think all signs to reality are that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this year.
Well, and I think, like you said, it's like it. If he was pissed or anything, it's the legacy thing. Like Favre has 3 MVPs as well. So if he gets a 4th one, then only Peyton's got more than he does. So people talk about not having the Super Bowls, but he's got the individual, all the individual awards. So I don't know. I mean, I think he is the MVP, but at this point, we're focused on the Super Bowl. He's not worried about winning the MVP.
Yeah, he don't want to play in no Pro Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
He don't want to give any speech at any NFL honors.
No. Let's go win a Super Bowl.
He wants to win a Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
NFL honors this year is going to be big.
Who's hosting?
Yeah.
I don't know. Has it been made public yet? I think I know.
I haven't heard
Keegan Michael Key, I thought.
Has that been made public?
I thought that's who it was. They announced it.
That has been made public.
Yeah.
Okay, we were sent his name in an email and whether or not we would like him on the show to promote NFL honors.
Oh.
And we said sure, but I don't know if it had been made public yet or not. And you were on that email too.
Yeah,
so.
but I definitely didn't read it.
He'll be good.
Just Googled it, yeah.
Okay, he will be good.
Oh, it didn't sound good.
No, we're good.
This is getting a little bit chaotic back here. Every day it has become a little bit too much. At some point the shit just overflows. You need a bigger desk. I got to extend this desk, I think.
We have the one from the trucks, though.
What's so funny?
So who's gonna schlep all that out to LA to put on your desks for the show?
Yeah.
Super Bowl week?
That'll be interesting because Radio Row, the desk will be completely clean.
Oh, yeah.
No,
It'll
3D
be-
models getting printed right now of all the stuff on there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's,
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to put it all in there. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to line 2. What's going on? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Rob, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Erie Admirals. Let's go. Let's go up there. What do you want to talk about, dude?
I want to talk about Pat referring to Duquesne as the Duquesne nothing and same game parlays.
Okay, go on.
Go on now?
Yeah.
All right, man. Pat, Duquesne, their football team is fucking good.
Your service isn't, though. I like that you were going to bat for Duquesne, though. They are. Hey, that basketball team's good, too.
Go Duke. Go Duke.
Hey.
Great day to be Duke.
But I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, it's Duquesne, and they have a bubble, for their teams to work out. And the fact that the Bengals don't is why.
High school teams do. When we were in Dallas for the Super Bowl, we practiced at a high school's indoor practice facility.
AJ, don't be fucking even sounding like you're siding with me. Ohio
I'm
is
not.
gonna
No, I'm not. I'm saying
storm your
that's how
house.
crazy Texas high schools are.
Well, and how
ridiculously
cheap the Bengals are is what you were.
If they win it all, then they can just look and say, "Look at us. We're the tougher team." Right?
Zito just showed me a tweet that he got from Canada explaining the Buffalo Bills situation maybe a little bit more. Zito got a tweet from @AllenSeason. Canadian fans make up 18% of season ticket holders, and the border just got closed. That's why there's so many tickets available right now. Oh, that makes sense. So they're just trying to unload their tickets, basically. Hey, have them for $20, have them for $30, do whatever you got to do. That would be a good theory that would make sense because it is very close to the old Canada there.
I've seen more of that than just that tweet.
What do you
So
mean?
listen, though,
So
but
I
have
think,
they?
I think it's legit. More than one person is saying that.
That
on the
Canadians aren't able to get to the game because the border's closed again. The border's locked down again right now?
internet. And Buffalo's right there.
Yikes.
It's one.
The border's locked
Thought
down
it
right
has
now?
been for a while, right?
I thought it was opened back up, though.
Yeah.
Me too, yeah.
I thought it was essential travel. I have not looked into it
Oh,
lately.
fucking Bills playoff game?
Wow.
That's essential, baby.
Jeez Louise. Well, thank you to the Canadian Buffalo Bills fans for saying and supporting the Buffalo Bills as much as you do, because without you, it's a fucking. It sounds bad.
Yeah, if that's the case, I feel very bad for those people. That fucking stinks.
They've been sitting in the middle of Bildo City with snow and years waiting to go to a playoff game. Now they can't come across a border that is just 20 minutes away.
You can see the stadium probably.
Right there. And there's also water, that is shared on both
They're
sides.
still postponing hockey games because they won't let Canadian residents into the arenas in Canada. The local governments.
Who's making all? Is it local governments in Canada? Is it Trudeau? Like, how are they doing this?
Well, I think you know the answer probably, and we don't. That's why you. I
No,
don't know.
I don't.
The
I'm
answer.
dead serious. Like, how does it work there? Like, is it a whole
Well,
countrywide mandate?
Let's ask our Canadian sensation, Gump. Gump, how does it work up there, pal? Can't wait to hear this. Thank you, AJ, for leading us to this point. Gump, who's deciding on what goes on? It's just local ordinances, or is it everybody making one decision together?
I believe it is Trudeau with whoever the area is. But if it's all of Canada, it has to be just Trudeau. It's not certain areas. If all of Canada closed, selfishly, this isn't terrible news.
What is your?
What does that mean?
That means, I believe that means he can't go back, and also nobody can come. Let's go to the.
Is Gump going to have to take a more behind the camera role as we move forward?
No, Gump's good actually. There was a couple months there where we were.
Yeah,
There was a couple months where we were rolling the dice. Hey, Gump, you
Yeah.
better be a little bit more quiet. All right, these next couple shows, but we're gonna stay. It's great, Gumpy. Gumpy. Great spot. This hour is wrapping up right now.
Yeah.
First hour of this show on radio. wrapping up right now. What a fucking hour it was, AJ.
What a good first hour.
I don't understand why anybody watches. I think it's because, AJ, you're so damn good. All the boys are so good.
No way.
The content, the topics, what we get to chat about every single day. And guess what? There's another hour on the other side of this break.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, the heat is only continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought this was, this show's almost over. This show stinks. Nah. More bullshit in the next hour. Steve Smith Sr. will be joining us talking about the Utah Utes losing to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl and all things happening in the NFL. We'll see you in 6. You're the best. Cheers. Fucking. I hit us fucking there. I got too excited. Yeah, it's on me. You know how many words you can get in like 5 seconds?
I don't know how many.
So I think that like amateur or at the beginning of your talking run, journalism run, when somebody tells you like, hey, you got like 10 seconds, I think your immediate thought is,
shut the fuck up.
There's not a lot of things that can be said there. I want to let you know, as I've gone on here, if you just go up a little bit into Twista and Busta Rhymes and just kind of turn it up a little bit, you can get a full paragraph in 3 seconds if you really need to. Don't be scared of that countdown, but know that it's there. And in that particular case, I wrapped it up and then I said, fucking nailed it a half a second later. So I didn't even let it end, that's on me completely. But I feel like that's why we win radio show awards, AJ.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of rappers, did Kanye knock somebody out outside that party with AB?
So I don't know if it was recent or in the past, but yeah, I guess they're investigating Kanye knocking somebody out. And there was a lot of reports that potential drug use was happening in that room.
No, they wouldn't.
Allegedly, I'm not saying anything. There was potentially.
They were in New York, though. New York's recreational.
Well, I don't know if
it was
that is the necessary drug that people were saying was going on in there. A lot of people saying they were rolling around in there having a good time. And I appreciate Madonna and Kanye.
What is Madonna doing?
That's
Chilling,
vibing.
dancing?
Yeah,
vibing, dude. You would never understand it.
How awkward would it be on that couch right now?
Awkward?
Very.
What are you talking about?
I would love to be sitting there and try to feel like, okay, well, here we go. What am I doing? Like, what are we going to do?
Not awkward at all. That would be amazing. That is that is where stories are birthed.
Of course.
Right there. What happened afterwards? What happened before this? How's this night end? Who filmed it?
Who's that guy right there?
That's Floyd Mayweather.
No, the guy that it doesn't
Far
really
left.
show.
To the
Just
left,
shows like his
AB.
forehead on camera.
Oh, the white?
Hustle Hard. Danny Boy.
I thought he was filming.
Cheeks. It's got to be.
Well, he got cleaned up. He's wearing a suit, it looks like.
Hold on.
Here we go.
That's a white, right?
That's Foxy.
That is Fox. Yeah. Jesus, Fox.
Yeah.
Come on, Evie.
Looks like it's a suit too, huh? Is that Ben Affleck?
Maybe.
Gotta be.
J-Lo on the other side.
Is that Kevin Spacey?
Well,
Whoa.
saw that coming.
Oh, there goes your list.
Never would have guessed. Way to go, AJ. Thanks for it. Let's get to a break and we'll be back for hour 3 on YouTube. Hour 2 on Sirius. Don't ever forget it. I forgot it immediately upon the open.
Yeah, you saved it.
I did.
You saved it.
I addressed it. I didn't save it. I addressed it. We'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. AJ, what do you want to do in this third hour, dude?
I think we should take a few calls before Steve, and then I want to preview some more of the games, maybe.
Okay, we'll go through the games again. We'll chit-chat a little bit more about any more information we hear. We also have to talk about, what the year was from a leader standpoint. We got a bunch of incredible dirty graphics about the leaderboards. We saw the Aaron Rodgers one touchdown and Tom Brady one. Then we got a bunch of those. We'll wrap up this beautiful season that was before we launch into the same game parlay holiday. This should be a great hour 3. Can't thank you enough. Cheers.
Hell of a machine.
It's 310J, dude.
Oh, top of the line.
That's when they were singing about being sexy.
That's right.
The 310J, when somebody saw it, that's sexy, and he was like, the country
Yeah,
music,
damn
you're
right
right.
it is.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. Oh, look at that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, that's got a good cockpit in there.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the Pope Mobile with all the glass around the top there, but it ain't no Pope Mobile because this one's fucking breaking grind. Hell yeah.
Party in the front, business in the back, am I right?
Well, I do believe we got business
Business
all
on both
sides.
ends.
That's right.
Yeah, the plot down there in the front is, although a good time. It is a good time to get that thing going.
Fun.
Business is being handled, dude.
Everyone's getting plowed.
And then on the back side, whenever you start cracking earth,
Oh yeah.
oh my
You
god.
need the excavator back there, the big dog.
And you know the thing about the seat on this 310J, it turns.
Yes, it does.
So it's always in the front. You know, whatever you're working on, business can be on the front, both sides.
That's right. Controls all around.
We worried about those front tires?
No, not at all.
That's how they roll.
No, they survive anything.
Those are standard Deere backhoe tires.
Look at the back
Someone like you
tires,
might be worried
Foxy. Yeah, exactly. Foxy.
I'm just asking questions.
Foxy, it ain't about the front wheels. It's always about the back.
That's right.
All right, because these rear wheel powered vehicles that you would never understand.
Yeah, you don't know anything about that, Foxy.
You have no idea.
I would not know.
Wake up.
I got friends that know. I don't know.
Listen, when you're drifting gears, okay, on a rear wheel, especially for 600 some ponies, you gotta watch for like any, plot holes or debris.
Of course.
Because you can and then hit a tree. Because the back end kicks out. And then you won't drive that car ever again. Because how are you not supposed to drift it? And I guess, how are you not supposed to hit another tree?
Yeah, right.
That's my life. Doesn't have to be yours, though. Thank you, Andrew, for calling from the 310J. That's a beautiful piece of machinery.
It is.
Gorgeous.
Take that thing another round. Oh, look at that thing prop itself up.
Lift kit.
That's why the wheels don't matter in the front, pal.
Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show on this Feel Good Friday, January 14th, 2022. Same game parlay, holiday eve. Let's do this thing. There's a couple updates. AJ Hawk to my left on your screen, right. Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys is here. Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, Bubba Gumpino. We got a couple updates. I guess the border is open, okay, which I thought I had seen. But testing to get back is a nightmare, says Eric. Before mid-December, you didn't need to test to re-enter to Canada if you were gone less than 72 hours. Now you have to provide a test to get back regardless.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe the testing situation is an issue. Once again, getroman.com/Pat.
Pat M.
M. They currently have, but do those tests count?
I don't know.
They do.
Probably not.
So you have to go get this test at a place that has the
And if
date on
you-
it?
Yeah.
I know somebody that happened. They like a couple different couples went down to Mexico. You have to test out of Mexico to come back in. They tested positive. Like a dad and a son tested positive. They're stuck 10 days, not allowed to go outside the door of the hotel that they put them in right after they tested positive. Rest of the family had to fly home then.
What hotel did they put them in? Just some, hey, you going in the Holiday Inn down here? Is that
I
what
don't
it
know.
is?
I mean, they got to pay for it. I don't know which one.
So
It was, I mean, that's why I'd be scared to go anywhere. Like if we have to test to get back in, if for some reason we're positive, I've had it. Like,
is it now
I can't
5
be-
days though?
No,
Yeah, it was 10 for them.
That's the NFL.
Yeah, that's
the NFL is 5 days.
CDC.
CDC is
Yeah,
5 days.
Yeah, because whether you're symptomatic or asymptomatic, because they got a speech from the CEO of the pilots, remember?
Yeah, and if you're
CEO of
from
the plane company.
Right.
You're from Canada, don't you love buffaloes? Have a nice little, stay in Buffalo if you love the Bills.
They probably have jobs. And,
Well, yeah, but they have COVID.
It's a week of work.
Yeah, COVID. There's nothing you can do.
Kids, probably
You can
kids
work,
could
fire
probably-
you for getting
Kids,
COVID.
family. I mean, there's probably a lot of shit, but like, I tested positive for 11 days when I had it.
Yeah.
So that is.
Seems like a long time.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck?
And they say now you can test up to 6 weeks positive.
What?
They say that?
Yeah.
That's been
Who's-
my brother tested positive for 2 months.
What? Really?
What? This Bills fan, this Canadian Bills fan comes down for a game, throws the Bilgo on the field, has the time of their life. They go get a test, positive. Hey, you're going to have to stay in this bumfuck hotel right here on the border until you produce a negative. 3 months later, that person's still, oh, God damn it, just shoving it up the nose, doing the whole thing. That'd be insane.
That's why they changed.
It's like terminal.
Yeah, that's why they changed it
This
to
is
5
like
days.
with Tom Hanks when he's stuck in the airport or whatever.
Yeah. That's why they said if you're 5 days, you don't have symptoms, then you can go.
So is everybody else smarter? Let's get to the phones.
Nobody knows.
I'm not getting into it.
Nobody
I'm not
knows
getting into it because I don't know. I don't know shit about fuck. I honestly don't. I wish I did. I don't follow it close enough. But even the people that do they? I don't know.
Doesn't
You
feel
tell
like
me. Dr. Drew told me that if I have the vaccination and any form of COVID, I should be a superhuman. But then I guess a lot of people are just, that's not the case at all, especially with the homie, the Omicron thing. It's just...
Nothing matters. No, there's no rational. Nothing's rational anymore. So either side.
Well, we don't know that. It seems like from our standpoint, looking in, nothing makes sense.
Yeah, but when you broad brush it, yeah, like okay.
Yeah, we are not in the weeds of this thing, and I do not want anybody to think that we don't. I did an interview with Bloomberg the other day.
Wow, okay. Michael,
that's a business. No, it's his business.
Okay,
it's at business on there, and. They asked about me not pushing back on Aaron on what he's saying and everything like that, and I appreciated the questions. And I let them know, like, hey, ain't nobody thinking to themselves, I won't go to Pat McAfee to learn what the fuck I need to do with my real life. Nobody's doing that. And, I don't know how he'll write that. I don't know how he'll portray that answer. But that's a real thing. I think we all know our roles. We are not the people in this society that you should be going to for answers in real life. By the way, neither is Aaron Rodgers, and neither is anybody else. And whatever I think we should try to figure out, who the right people are that we should listen to. And we've been saying this since the beginning. We need a scoreboard. We need a scoreboard. We need records. And that's what we do in sports. We have a scoreboard. Oh, so if some Detroit Lion motherfucker was just to come up and say, hey, I think we should do ba-ba-ba. It's like, hey, you're the Lions. Okay, you're this. And I'm just talking about in the political field. If they were able to find a scoreboard where we were able to know what people's records were, because even people that don't pay attention to the NFL, if Tom Brady's to say something like, oh, Tom Brady, he's a winner. The sport of football. If you don't know shit about fucking the politics world or the medical world or the real world like we do, it'd be nice if there was just a walking scoreboard around all these people so we knew if they stunk or if there was somebody we should actually listen to. But the problem is, I guess, and I've been told this a couple times, they'll debate on what the scoreboard is.
Yeah.
And how scoring happens and everything like that.
Yeah, who's the scorekeeper? That's what they'll say.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, because is it like Drew Carey and whose line is it anyways? Where it's just bang, bang, boom, boom, boom.
Willy-nilly.
Or is it like old Cuzzy on Around the Horn there where he's just like ding, ding, ding. Yeah, who's doing that? Is it reality there? Yeah, I mean, who's doing the scoring? Like, you guys need to figure it out. That's why you're smarter.
It's a fluid situation. They'll figure it out here shortly.
This
I'm sure.
concept, go execute it. You guys will be able to figure out how to keep score in the politics world.
This has been handled perfectly. They'll figure it out.
Oh, see, here we go. This guy.
I'm not getting into it. I tell you all the time.
You got issues? You got issues, dude?
All I know, though, is listen, we're in way too deep now where, like, whatever happens, like, nothing's shocking, nothing surprising. I'm sure you hear people, can you believe this? Like, whatever, on either side, I'm like, yep, I absolutely believe it.
Yeah, Colts lost to the Jags by 15. That's what I say. Hey, can you believe blah, blah, blah? I don't know how big of a surprise it is in your world, but in our world, Colts got blown up by the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. So, yeah, I bet that could happen. Yeah, I do believe that. Let's go to line one here. How you doing? Keep it moving. Who are you? What do you want to talk about?
I'm Corey from New Mexico.
From the Mexico? Like old one or new one?
The new one.
Oh, New Mexico. Okay,
Nice.
Corey from New Mexico. How you doing? What city down there?
From Roswell, the home of the aliens.
Oh. Okay. Hey, you see anything out there? Those skies are really, a lot of stars because there's not a lot
Al
of
Baldwin still there?
Come on.
AJ? That was up in Santa Fe. No, I think they shoot him out of there.
Try.
All right. We get it. All right. What do you want to talk about down there, dude? Jeez Louise.
I wanted to give a shout out to all you boys doing the thing out there on this holiday eve today. Main thing though, we back in season for Supercross, Mr. McAfee. Dirt bikes are back in the season.
Oh, boy.
We're in Oakland tomorrow night on Peacock.
Are they racing? Are they racing or jumping?
I mean, they're doing it all. They're supposed to race, but they kind of jump and wreck. Last week we had like 6 different wrecks. Dude broke his wrist. Guy got backboarded off. They were trying to kill themselves pretty much every time.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. What was that kid last? There was a kid, like an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old, who I saw die in a race, and then he won the race at the end.
Yeah, it's Jet Lawrence. He actually fucked himself up a day before the season, so he's holding out halfway in the season. He'll come back.
Oh, I didn't know Jet could get hurt, honestly, after seeing what he did. He ate a bike and a bump at the same time, broke his back, looked like he was Gumby, and then he ends up winning said race somehow. It's like, these dudes are animals. You said it's on Peacock?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, so it's kind of late for you.
Well, I mean, we got fucking Bills Pats, dude.
That's tomorrow night.
Yeah, we got Pats Bills is tomorrow night. What are we supposed to do? You think maybe they run that thing a little bit later, wait till the game to end?
Yeah, well, they leave it on there for repeats, so you can watch it whenever the fuck you get on.
All right, appreciate you. Do you race? Are you a part of the association here?
So I used to build arena cross, so we were in smaller like basketball stadiums. Now they're in like NFL stadiums. But I used to build them, and I kind of raced myself.
All right, well, good luck out there. Don't die, dude. That's a big part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a dirt bike I've never been able to turn on because I just still sit in my garage. I haven't been able to figure out how to charge the battery. Somewhere in there, I've given it a go. It's probably for the better that I don't.
Did you ever ride it?
No, it was gifted to me by my wife for Christmas like 3 years ago, and it's probably for the best that I haven't figured out how to turn it on.
It looks cool.
It does look really cool, and I guess those dirt bikes though are real high maintenance though. Like dirt bikes are really, really high maintenance.
Dangerous too. If you don't know what you're doing, they can be dangerous too.
Well, I know how to ride. Obviously, I know how to ride. Okay, I know how to do the whole thing, but I just wanted to one time take that thing right down Meridian. You know.
What about the backflip?
Well, I would have to go out to Pastrana's Nitro Circus.
We were promised a backflip.
Yeah, we were.
Well, I mean, we got to turn it on first, dude. I mean, what do you want? I haven't even been able to turn the goddamn thing on yet, but I do have a dirt bike. I'm interested in those races, AJ. They are awesome to watch. Like, they just so happen to be on TV, and you catch them. These dudes do not give a fuck. They're dying out there.
It's something that I think I would love to see in person. It's really cool on TV, but if that in person, especially with the noise and everything, and you can feel how dangerous it is, that's something I would go to.
That and like Monster Jam.
Grave
Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, it's fun to watch. Though.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try to get the rights to the monster truck stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to try my best. We'll see how much work is involved in that.
Sure.
I think like Demolition Derby would be fun to actually take part in that.
Yes.
So they have these bus figure eight races where you drive in buses and you drive in a figure eight course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so people just T-bone each other basically the entire time. That's what you want to do. That's great.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, I need like a 5-point harness, but yeah.
Oh, hey, 5 points of pressure on the football, too. Ball's program. Let's go to the phones. Last call before we wrap up this 2021 NFL season with all the leaders across, catching, running, punting, kicking, passing, all that stuff, sacking. Phone line number 2. What's going on? What's your name? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, it's Camden Rainey. I was calling to see what time the Colts play in the playoffs.
Jesus.
That's a solid call. That's a solid call. That was some misdirection.
Fucking clown.
What was his name again?
Who cares?
Hey, make sure he calls back.
You're not welcome.
He can do one of that. He can come at me next time.
Yeah. That was a good call. That's good reading the room.
Next week.
Cam Rainey, I think his name was. Fuck off, dude.
Congrats. Good
One
job.
last call, actual call, before we get into the leaderboards.
I mean, that's a pretty good one to end the regular season on.
No, I would like there to be a terrible one that is remembered differently. You know what I mean? Remembered differently. Let's go. What's going on? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, he's behind.
You gotta relive the past.
Wait a whole minute. Connie's guy's phone dying. Maybe it's she. I don't know. I mean, I keep saying dude, but dude is for, all.
Yeah, all dudes and dudettes.
And
we're all dudes.
And everybody.
Duders.
There's
a massive chance this person is just
dead.
Yeah.
Search party for phone line 2.
Yes. Might have slipped.
All right, let's go to last one here. What's going on? What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Jesus Christ, get to it! What do you want to talk about, dude?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about, happy Feel Good Friday for you guys.
Hell yeah.
Happy Feel Good Friday to you too, man. I think we lost you there a little bit. It was a little lost in translation early. I'm excited to have you on, man. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about, just recently I've been noticing there's quarterbacks like Drew Lock and like Gardner Minshew that haven't been really given like an honest chance. And like back in the day, in case like Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, they're given like a few years to develop before they, cut them loose.
Thank you for the call. Nick, what is your problem?
Wait, what did Nick say?
Nick just started cackling back there. Jesus, that was a good call.
It's a good question. Spit it out already.
I mean, situations are situational. You don't need to get that guy. I mean, think about how that call started. That guy had no chance. We appreciate all that. Thank you for calling.
Good call.
Thank you for being a part of the show. But yeah, it's a much different situation. It's all situations are situational. And if you get a shot and you get an opportunity, you fall into an offensive coordinator, an offensive system that fits you perfectly, obviously that's a dream. I think we have some missed legacies for sure because they landed on teams or organizations or programs that are absolute bums. And I hate that for whoever the quarterback is. I assume if you talk to that quarterback, they will let you know that they were fucked and they could still slice and dice your pickup football games. Now, with that being said, it does feel as if water finds its level eventually. We just got to hope it happens on a more often basis than it doesn't. But it is crazy to think about some people whose careers have been buried, long, long gone, never really were able to make it big time in the NFL after having incredible college careers. And if you ask them or anybody around them, they're probably saying, this dude got fucked completely. That happens a lot, AJ.
At the quarterback position more than any other because they're so dependent on everyone else around them. Like they need, no matter who you are, you got to have a line that's going to keep you upright. You got to have a couple weapons. And also one of the most important things, do you have a good play caller? Is it your head coach or your offensive coordinator? Or like some guys don't have a clue. Like honestly, some guys calling plays don't give their guy a chance. And some guys do whatever possible to play to their strengths. So that's a huge, huge advantage when you have a coach that's calling the plays that understands like what your game is.
And to old buddy's point, I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have probably been wasted. I don't know about Gardner Minshew or Drew Lock being those two. Not that Gardner Minshew hasn't played great football, and Drew Lock has also played great football, and obviously they moved around. There's been moments where they've been great. I don't want this to just be about those two, because if it's just about those two, you'll get people like Diggs who just go, no, those don't deserve to be in a conversation. But there is a lot of other quarterbacks that are probably pitching the same narrative that, I ended up in a program that stinks. Guys couldn't block. The play caller literally just wanted me to do his offense and didn't adjust with me at all. And we got fucked. And I wish I could do what Tom Brady did down in Tampa, where he was able to build his own team. And Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur have their Zoom calls and they pick what plays they like and which ones they don't. And Aaron has some say. That could have been me, but instead I got Matt Nagy telling me that I stink, is what Mitchell Trubisky is potentially saying, although that is being leaked right now in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, we're hearing it with Tua. And Tua, depending on who's the coach next year, that'll be his third OC in 3 years, I think. Like, there are a lot of guys who you don't know until they leave. Tannehill even.
But also there's quarterbacks that just win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just win. And they make coordinators look better than they actually are.
Get guys head coaching jobs.
Yeah, so there's both sides of that, I guess. And it is now time. And this is exciting news. Because once Dirty joined the team and the operation, a level of art and creativity was brought to the building that we had never even thought about broaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his ability to draw and make things come and be optically pleasing is second to none, and we're thankful for Dirty. So this is for Dirty because of how much work he put into this, how much research he and Bruce and others put into this. It is time to round up the 2021 NFL season. Who are the best? Who are the great? Who are the leaders in multiple different facets? How about the top 5 rushing leaders? Jonathan Taylor, number 1 in the NFL, 1,811 yards rushing this season, 18 touchdowns. Then Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook rounds out the top 5. Congratulations to these 5, their offensive line, and everything they accomplished. The NFL's leading rusher, Jonathan Taylor, bought a bunch of Louis Vuitton bags for his offensive line, which we can respect and appreciate. And AJ, we talked about this the other day as we got a little tease for the wide receiver one. 3 out of these 5 are not in the playoffs. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Also, I mean, 4 out of these 5 easily could have been left out of the playoffs. The Steelers snuck in at the end for Najee. So I don't know. What is that saying? Do you not need to run the ball to win in the NFL, Pat?
Well, then you can add Derrick Henry into this thing because he would have been in there. They're the number 1 seed. So everything means nothing, but a narrative could be painted by this particular leaderboard and saying, yeah, it doesn't matter. Look, top rusher, not even in the fucking playoffs, even though all they had to do was beat Clowntown and give him the ball more. Let's get to the wide receivers. What a year for these guys.
Hey, congrats, gentlemen.
Congrats to the top 5 receiving leaders of the 2021 NFL season. Cooper Kupp, your receiving champion.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp says, I got one of these. Maybe next year, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, and Deebo Samuel, who was not only used as a wide receiver, but also a tailback at times. So his yards from scrimmage are probably grotesque and ridiculous. But these 5 dudes, absolute superstars, AJ.
Absolute star. And a lot of them, Devontae and Cooper. How old is Cooper? Like, young stars. There's so many young position, stars in the league that play fun positions. Wideouts, DBs, running backs. Deebo, what does he play? Everything, just a monster. This is, I think it's a good time for the NFL.
Yeah, it's a talent deep position, the wide receiver position. It's only going to get bigger and bigger, I think, with how NFL offenses continue to adjust to college offenses. Jamar Chase just 5 months ago couldn't catch an NFL ball.
That's right.
That was a real thing.
Yeah.
13 touchdowns.
13 touchdowns. He, the first 4 weeks, he had 4 or 5 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, came in with an absolute vengeance. Justin Jefferson's a stud. Devontae Adams is unbelievable. And Matthew Stafford has another receiving leader.
Wow. Any playoff ones?
He's got to stop throwing picks.
Yeah, throwing more picks.
That is real. He has to. Yeah. Has he really?
I think he's tied for the lead. Yeah.
He has to stop throwing picks. I mean, that is an actual thing. We are big Matthew Stafford fans around here. Mm-hmm. I've been banging the Matthew Stafford drum for a long time. Need him to stop throwing picks. They can go on a run. That Rams team can go on a run. Let's go to the next leaderboard. Let's go to the top 5 touchdown leaders. 43 tuds for Tom Brady.
What a season.
What a season. 5,316 yards. How you doing? Keep it moving. Wow. Antonio Brown leaves halfway through a game. They come back and get a big win. Gronkowski, Evans, Godwin. The entire squad over there is absolutely incredible. Congrats to Tom leading the NFL in touchdowns. Then Matty Stafford at 41. That does not count the pick sixes that went the other way, Ty. I know what you were going to ask, Diggs. Justin Herbert, 38 tuds, 5,000 yards. Aaron Rodgers, 37 tuds. And Dak Prescott, 37 tuds. What a year for these 5 quarterbacks. And if you look at these 5, 4 out of 5 in the goddamn playoffs. Mm-hmm. This is what people will probably bring to in their narrative painting of the rushing leader and the touchdown passing leader and who and how the offense should be run in the future.
Well, and also, again, Herbert, another one of those guys who they probably should have made the playoffs if Brandon Staley doesn't do all the things he did, throughout the way. I mean, shit. Herbert, how many 4th and 18s, 4th and 23s did he convert to get them into OT? So it's a pretty strong leaderboard, though.
Yeah, it is a strong leaderboard. AJ, your thoughts on this being a relatively older bunch?
Yeah, it is. Experience shows. I mean, and also Matt Stafford had a pretty damn good year other than the interceptions, right? That was his biggest downfall.
Just as of late, it's been the last 5-6 weeks where you start saying whoa, what's going on? 7 picks in the last 3 games, I think.
Yeah, 17 overall.
Yeah. I mean,
top 5 touchdowns, top 5 passing yards, and won the division. We would have said MVP, and that's not even close to the case.
Yeah.
Would we have?
He's in LA too.
He needs to get out to a fast start in the playoffs.
Hey, real quick, let's talk about it. Why does Aaron not have as many yards? Is it because their offense is just like a cerebral offense, which is like bam, bam?
It's kind of been like that for like he I don't think he's ever thrown for 5,000 yards. Like they I don't know, they are very balanced. You know, AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones both have over 1,000 total yards. Like, and the pack, like he's not throwing it 50 times a game like Tom is or some of these other guys. Like, you know, he's throwing it 30 when they're really playing on all cylinders and firing. He's throwing like 35 times, you know. So
playing with a lead a lot too.
That too.
Well, and also just not giving the ball to the other team.
Right.
Ever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the biggest difference. That's so huge.
It's stupid, isn't it? The ball is the program, and somehow
defenses know going in. Okay, this guy never throws interceptions, so if you get a chance to get your hands on a ball, you absolutely better catch it. So can you imagine if you're a dude like a DB and you drop a pick early against A-Rod? You know he's like, you know you're not getting any more of those, buddy.
Hey, that ain't gonna happen. That's why that first game was so interesting, so weird. I mean, it just looked nothing like what that offense would normally look like. They were left for dead. Now the number one team in the NFC. Everything runs through Lambeau. Congrats to these 5 quarterbacks leading the league. Top 5 sack leaders. TJ Watt. 22 and a half, all earned too. I saw a lot of people talking about Strahan's last sack and what happened in that particular play versus what TJ Watt had to do against, rival Ravens. But what an incredible year for him. He only played in 15 games, but it took the 17th game to get the record. So I think those conversations kind of balance each other out, tie the record. Then Robert Quinn still doing it. Robert Quinn still at the leaderboard. He was around whenever other people were getting 20, and he was getting 20 years and years and years ago. Myles Garrett was 16, Bosa with 15 and a half, and Trey Hendrickson, big-time offseason signing by the Cincinnati Bengals, rounds out the top 5. Congrats, fellas.
Here we go, boys.
Way to terrorize quarterbacks. Top 5 interception leaders. Trayvon Diggs had 11 of them things. J.C. Jackson quietly with 8. Trayvon Diggs got all the hype because how incredible all the catches were that he was making. J.C. Jackson, lockdown and 8. And then you add in, obviously.
Just call him Amanio.
That's
what everyone calls him.
Amania.
Amani. Oh.
Amani. Oh, shit. What a year, man. And then Bird, obviously, and then Micah Hyde, not in the Pro Bowl. 5 interceptions, safety position, pretty impressive alongside Kevin there. Incredible year by these gentlemen.
Well done, boys.
How about
11 picks.
That's a lot. How about J.C. Jackson? What a stud, huh?
He's a monster.
They're going to probably end up franchise tagging him this year and then paying him next year.
Yeah, and then the Stephon Gilmore thing will happen with
exactly.
him.
And then you'll ship him out of town.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, by the way, that's how the Patriots win. They do their thing.
Baby.
JC's a hell of a player. Good for him. Good for Trayvon Diggs. Good for all. Amanio putting up a show out there in Detroit. Let's go to the kicking leaders. This is strictly by percentage-wise on field goals. 94.6% field goal percentage for Justin Tucker. Star of a 60 Minutes feature. Wow.
There you go.
Longest 66. I mean, he has the longest ever, and that has to be one of the highest percentages in the history of the NFL with a certain amount of kicks happening. When he misses, the world is confused and makes no sense. Absolute superstar. Congrats to Tucker leading the league in percentage yet again. Matt Gay, 94.1% out in L.A. Sean McVay said, we got a guy with some swagger. We like him. Younghoe Koo down in Atlanta, onside kick master, 93.1% field goal percentage with a long of 54. Daniel Carlson had 5 game winners, I think. He's kicking at 93%, and he's also getting another contract and an extension. And the Folk legend, the Folk lore, Nick Folk, still doing it at 92.3%. Congrats to these 5 and the entire operation of Snap, Hold, and Kick. Yeah. AJ, your thoughts here. These are very high percentages for people that say kicking doesn't matter and they miss a lot.
Oh, I mean, I think these are – I had no idea they were this high. I really didn't. The top 5 I thought would be a little bit lower than this, and I'm looking to see where they kick, obviously. Justin Tucker, especially, having the highest percentage and a 66-yarder playing in Baltimore. We know it gets cold there. We've seen the practice field turn when the grass goes dormant, right? So this dude's kicking in all conditions as well. Kicks at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Like that even makes it more impressive.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. The 66 was in Detroit. He took a little extra step, but what you're referring to is 100% accurate. 2 games in Cleveland, 2 games in Pittsburgh, 2 games in Cincinnati. That's a nightmare. And then if you look at Nick Folk, how you doing? Keep it moving. Foxborough's no fun. Buffalo is terrible. Miami is beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's warm too, humid, the ball flies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little breezy down there. You know, it is down the bay, you know.
Yeah, sure. MetLife stinks.
Kicking in the dark of the bay. A little breezy there. MetLife does stink to kick, but it's all impressive stuff. You still have to go out and make the kick regardless of what the weather is. What a season. Then let's get to the punters. How you doing? Keep moving. We went off of net yardage. Although net yardage isn't 100% the best way to go off of who the best punter in the NFL is, because if they're hitting pooch punts and they're doing their job right and getting fair catches at the 10 or the 9 or the 5, that's probably going to have a much shorter gross and net. But net is a good one because this is actual yards gained by your team in the punt play. So I think this is what is most important in the end, although I think stats should be changed on how they are calculated. Inside the 20 punt should be a percentage. It should be a cutoff at like the 45, your own 45 looking in. Those should be considered pooch punts. That should be a percentage like free throws, and then gross and net should be judged off of all other punts that happened before that. That is a way they could get punting into fantasy football, by the way. I hope somebody finally does that. With that being said, Brian Anger, 44.6 net.
Oh, yeah.
That is huge. Hell of a year, 48.4 yard gross average. So he's given up about 4 yards per punt. 43.6, Logan Cook had a baby.
Hey, Logan.
A lot of punting down in
punting a
Jacksonville.
lot, yeah.
And he did comment on my rant about us losing Clowntown. He said, hey, Bob, that's quite a shame.
Yeah.
That's quite a shame. Hey, he ended the season on a high note, had a hell of a year, 47.3 yard gross, 43, about 4 yards there. Sam Martin of Denver, and I'm not sure if Denver Broncos fans are pumped about Sam Martin or not. He had a gross of 46, which isn't great, obviously, is not high. I think he was looking for a lot of fair catches in that thing. He had a 42.8 yard net. That's unbelievable. 3 point some yards difference between your gross and net is obviously a fantastic thing. And he had 28 inside the 20 in this list that tops it. 42.6 net for Johnny Hecker, 44.2 gross. Congratulations for him. And AJ Cole, 42.5 with a 50-yard gross. So those balls are going a long way, but also getting some returns. Probably gave up 1 touchdown, maybe. I'm not 100% sure that can eat your net and your gross. But congrats to these gentlemen. Yeah, joining us now is an absolute legend, a man who's been in a lot of top 5 leaderboards for whether it's yards, shit talk, maybe a little bit of a hey fuck you. No, hey fuck you. I don't know how many of those happen in a season, but I assume this guy was a part of a couple of them because he was so competitive, so goddamn good. Friend of the show, ladies and gentlemen, NFL Network analyst and football icon Steve Smith.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Utah Utes, dude. Utah Utes. Here we go. We played.
I can't hear you. I'm eating humble pie.
Oh, hey, respect.
Hold on.
Finish that thing.
All right, I'm finished. Hey, AJ, how you doing?
What's up? Hey, it was a good game, though, wasn't it?
Let me tell you something. I was heartbroken.
Really?
Man, I have actually become a fan. You know, AJ, when you're still playing, you sometimes you never really cross over. You're still always like you're just a football player. I was a fan. I think I've switched over to a fan, man. And me and my firstborn, we were there. We went back to our hotel. You know, I'm back home, and we grabbed a little Tommy's Burgers. Bro, we sat down and ate. Took one bite of the burger, and we both looked at it and was like, why do we even waste our money? Like, we had no appetite. Bro, I'm telling you, man, it was like being a kid waiting for his daddy to never pick him up.
Oh, no, he went to the store. Oh, no.
It was bad, man. So even some of the friendly, banter going back and forth, that's why it took me so long to follow up with you guys, bro. I'm just getting over it.
Wow. Hey, this is good news for Utah, though. Huh? They put up a good fight against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
Hey, that's what you tell all the little Johnnies in the backyard till you go to the big boy league and you get mollywopped.
Hey, Utah's going to come, though. Hey, this is a foundation builder. Utah's going to keep going, especially with your fanhood. And the fact that you got sick to your stomach and lost your appetite afterwards, I think all of Utah's happy to hear that you're that big of a fan. Imagine being a Colts fan and having them lose to Jacksonville and not making the fucking playoffs, Steve. Dude, think about that.
I mean, the only thing you experienced the last week of the season is what you were going to experience the next week in the playoffs. Why you make that face?
Jonathan Taylor, Steve. Why do you think some teams don't just give, for instance, and you come from a different perspective than me and AJ. AJ's a linebacker. I'm just somebody that got a chance to watch front row and kick balls and people fail.
I'm glad you admitted that.
Yeah, Steve. And by the way, you can say that because you played in the NFL. All these other goons on TV, though, I'm more athletic than all of you. I'll smack you right in the fucking mouth. That's neither here nor there, okay? You can say that for that whole thing. Anybody that played in the NFL can. But why do you think some play callers refuse to admit what is working? Do you think that is a real problem around the NFL? Do you think that's something that pride, ego can get involved in? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Well, I played for the Panthers, so, we didn't experience that a lot, but, just looking on the outside, looking in, man, I've been I'm always critical of quarterbacks, right? And I've been extremely critical of quarterbacks, not throwing shade, but just looking at it in this perspective. You can't tell me when you're paying somebody a benchmark of $45 million a year, right? Or you're owed $46 or $45 million a year. You touch the ball the whole time. And AJ, I'll bring you in and I'm ask you, how many linebackers keep their job if they keep missing tackles?
0.
Can't make tackles.
Probably not going to make the team.
But 0.
Hold on. What about a corner who actually cannot cover?
Or check cover 2. But yeah.
Even in cover 2, he's running cover 3.
Okay.
How about a wide receiver who can't catch?
What's he doing?
All right. So my point is, you're paying a quarterback $45 million. You bet the farm and traded for him. And you're telling me we can win a game if we minimize him throwing the ball.
Oh, no.
So I'm no longer in football, but I'll use an analogy that all of us understand. If you buy a stock and it keeps going down, there is unrealized and realized gain. But at some point, you're going to have to hit that trigger to sell, or you going to just let it go to the bottom and then tell your wife, well, I blow our money, but hey, he's a good person. Our financial guy, he's a good guy. He can't pick any damn stocks, right? He done screwed up our kids' college fund. He done messed up all of our money, but man, he's a good person. Man, he's good.
Good handshake. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Good handshake. He looks you in the eye. That is Carson Wentz.
Oh, God.
I hate to say it. Carson Wentz is exactly who I would love my daughter to date. But playing football?
Hey, with you saying that, Steve, what do they do now? Their GM and head coach wouldn't commit to him next year. What do you think happens for the Colts?
I think they have to get Frank Wright is exceptional. I love Frank Wright. I love the general manager. I love what they're doing, right? But I'm experiencing in Carolina right now. You have all of the pieces. You have the great organization that knows how to draft. They know how to raise up their own. They have a great farm system. They know how to draft a kid in whatever round and pull them up out of that, and it becomes a great football, unbelievable, all pro, all this stuff. But your quarterback is a liability. When you compare him to everything else, linebackers, receivers, running back, all this stuff is great. But what is not great? The guy who's making who has a $45 million price tag, who's guaranteed. And the reason I'm saying is he's touching the ball every time. And you're saying we're really good if we minimize him working.
Hey, Steve, what are your thoughts? Because they say a lot of these young quarterbacks coming out of college all stink. And I guess, do you think it's going to be a big time, like, backup quarterbacks on the move this offseason? Like, who do you think you would go for if you had a team that was well built? And I think you were describing, like, Darius Leonard and Kenny Moore and many other players that Chris Ballard was able to draft, have an eye, pay, they build up, and they just seem to be band-aiding this quarterback position. What would you do to fix it, you think?
Man, I think you gotta ask yourself, really what people are trying to do right now is you got to stop putting this square peg through this round hole, right? You got to stop doing that. And then also, quarterback position is extremely hard. It's extremely hard, and it's hard to figure out because the college game is so simple in the passing game. You're really not sure from the shoulders above, are these guys really as good as their numbers in college, and can they make the leap into the pros? And you don't know until they're there. The unfortunate part, the quarterback position is coveted so major that you have to spend all of that equity to find out it ain't working out.
So whenever you think about, let's pivot to the coaching situations, because there's 7 head coaching jobs up right now. If you count the Raiders, 3 GM jobs. How do they find who the right person is? Because just like the quarterback position, you have no fucking idea if a guy is going to be a good head coach or not. You honestly, right? Don't you? I mean, you have no idea, because they might get a little bit of power and become a completely different person. You have no. How do you think they should figure it out, and what do you think the whole landscape's going to look like?
Well, what you have is, I think a great example is in Detroit. Anthony Lynn is a great man. He's a great man. He's a great leader of men. He is not an offensive coordinator, right? But sometimes we want offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators to be the head coach, and that doesn't always work out, right? Norv Turner, I think Mike Zimmer is a great example as well. They're unbelievable defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. But managing a whole team is a unique opportunity. And when you can't get people to understand, just manage the team and have good, smart people around you, specialists, that's where things get murky, right? Everybody can't be everything. And that's what you have to figure out. And Anthony Lynn, I believe if he wouldn't have been offensive coordinator this year, if he would have just stayed away, he would be in the running for head coach, because he is unbelievable at orchestrating and managing a team. As offense coordinator, he's struggling, and that's what got him out of Detroit. And that's a great example of sometimes you got to know what your strengths are. You have to be willing to admit your weaknesses, but don't glance over them. Allow your weaknesses to say, hey, I'm going to be a head coach, but I'm going to bring in smart coordinators to allow them to do their jobs, and then I will manage everything else. And that's what Bill Belichick does. That's what some other coaches do. But then there's the other guys who don't. And it's hard. And it's a selective few. And you got to pay a lot of money to figure out if a coach is good or he isn't. And that's the tough part about it.
Steve, what about when we talked about quarterbacks and coaches, and you have to invest all of this up front to try to see if they're the guy? How do you know when is the time to either give them another year or pull the plug? That's another thing right now I think everyone's dealing with.
Hey, Daniel Jones is going to get another year, I guess, with the Giants, is what we were told by Schrager. Like, hey, maybe this next, like they.
I agree. I like Daniel Jones. He's here. He's from Charlotte. So
he might need a new stay, though. Maybe get him to Carolina, a fresh start. Get him the hell out of there.
It's not even a fresh start, right? If I use Daniel Jones and New York and Charlotte, and I use New York, Sam Darnold and Charlotte right now, can we really say that we really know how good Daniel Jones or how bad Sam Darnold is when both of their offensive lines are not very good? What happened with the Jets with Sam Darnold? He got body slammed for a long time, and his body gave out. He doesn't lift to go, hey, I'm going to run the ball, right? He lifts to, like, his shoulders, protection, all that stuff to throw. He doesn't run to get tackled every single time, and he shouldn't be. But that's what happened with the Jets. He got body slammed too many times. His body said, we're not built for this, right? He comes to Carolina. He gets body slammed a number of times during the season. He says, body not built for this. we don't have an offensive line here in Carolina to really give a fair assessment, because the offensive line is one of your pillars to how good your team will be, right? And so the offensive line sets the tone for your offense, right? Because if they're really good road graders, they set the tone. They baptize the D-line and make them good, and then they protect the opposing team to let your quarterback have a clean pocket and deliver the ball. Neither one of these gentlemen had that opportunity. Instead, they were running for their life. Daniel Jones, athletically, is not on the precipice of a guy that needs to have designated runs for him over Saquon Barkley.
So how do you know when to pull the trigger? How do you know? For the coach, this goes back to AJ. How do you know when the quarterback is finally like, hey, this guy ain't going to be it? How do you know with the coach?
That's the toughest part is there's so many things that are wrong with the Giants. You don't really know. They allowed Dave Gettleman to retire. I think that's great. They need a new general manager. They also need a new head coach. So they have to figure it out. They have to understand. My question is always in this offseason when the coaches, what is your vision? What is the goal of the business that you're trying to do? What is your mission statement, right? If you don't have all those things, then who are you hiring? You're hiring a guy because he looked good over here, but his beliefs or his ideology may not align with yours. So you have to figure that part out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these teams do. There's a lot of teams that have a long history of fucking it up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a long history, and hopefully they'll be able to figure it out. I know the boys got a couple questions for you, Steve, and we appreciate your time. But I want to show you the receiving leaders. I want to show you this graphic of the top 5 receiving leaders for this season. It seems to be a younger group. Now, obviously, you got Devontae in there. You got Cooper Kupp, who's been around a long time. Justin Jefferson is a superstar. Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel is an all-around. Debo's unbelievable yards from scrimmage. Do you think it'll continue to be a younger position? Do you think guys are getting better quicker at the receiving position? Or do you think just that LSU, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, that pipeline is just a very special one and unique?
I believe everything you said is correct. It is getting younger, the pipeline, but also, too, they're throwing the ball. They're developing so much younger in college because of the passing game, right? And then you come into the passing game in the NFL. But what is always going to happen, though, you're going to have these young guys, right, that do good, but you also got some old heads who are going to just, they understand as their physical attributes decline, they also, rightfully so, should be. They're, they know how to run routes. They know how to play the game, right? Talking about Cooper Kupp is funny. Some folks, back when Cooper was first coming out, I coveted Cooper as probably one of the best wide receivers in that draft class. And people called me idiots. They said I was dumb and Steve has no idea what's going on. The reason what I love to do, all these guys that I've watched in college, the year they're coming out, I watched that year. But then I go back the year before to see what deficiencies or errors or bad habits they had, and have they broken them, right? Have they improved? Juju Smith-Schuster, his first year was better with Sam than his second year when he came out, his third year when he came out, and with the Steelers, because things just didn't work out. They weren't as good. So I like watching the year they're coming out, then the other year, and that really gives me an understanding of a guy. And Cooper, even though he went to a small school, Cooper was balling the year before he came out. Then when he came out, he was balling, and I'm just amazed. Justin Jefferson, the same way.
Well, so you can kind of get a feel for the work ethic too, I guess, right? As soon if you look for, okay, what's he look like now? What do he look like last year? Oh, he was terrible coming out of his breaks. Maybe his hands were late or his hands were early or things like that. And then the next year they get much better. It's like, oh, this guy's work ethic. This guy understands that, hey, I do have deficiencies. I can get better. I never really thought of that. That seems like a brilliant way to scout people.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's
why are they calling you idiot? Huh? Why are they calling you dumb, Steve?
Part of that is, I think that you know how it is, man. Now you say I'm in a position I'm in, and yet I'm an idiot. I guess the 16 years I played didn't mean anything. I guess I was just out there. playing Madden all the time.
You were guessing. You were guessing out there. It was a hell of a run. Go ahead, Ty.
Steve, when you look at the Bengals this year, there's there's a lot of juice with them going into the playoffs. Do you think they can actually make a run in the AFC, and maybe like what they don't know won't hurt them or whatever because they are pretty young? Do you think the Bengals will actually make a run here in the AFC?
I mean, yeah, I believe they can make a run. I do believe youth can play against you because you don't know what you don't know, especially if you're playing a veteran team. Someone told me this as well, and it didn't really make sense. And then I sat on it for about 2 weeks, and it really made sense. Was if you're around losing enough, you don't really even realize how much it just gets into your fabric. It's like losing is like being around someone who smokes cigarettes, right? When you're
it permeates, right?
It permeates. You don't know that cigarette smoke is all over you until you go to somewhere else. You go, they say, "Are you a smoker?" You're like, "No." And then they're like, "Oh, well, such and such is. They live in my house." And then all of a sudden, you don't realize it's in everything. It's in your socks. It's in your shoes. It's in your clothes. It's in your washing machine. It's everywhere. It's in your blinds, everything. And so that's what losing is. It's like smoking cigarettes. You don't really realize how much of that stench is on you and with you, even through your fabric of your clothes, right? And when that happens, you're young, you don't realize it. You're there 10 years, and all of a sudden you're in the playoffs, and you're hyped. And AJ knows this too, right? And tell me if I'm wrong, AJ. When you're not very good for a long time, or you experience some losing for a little bit, and there's reasons why, at some point in the game, sitting on the bench, you go, "Man, how are we gonna screw this up?"
That's a negative way to look at it, Steve. I hate that you're on a team that was thinking like that.
AJ, be honest. Like sometimes when you have one of those years,
dude, he had Aaron and Brett, bro. He had Aaron and Brett.
Lucky. I was very lucky, but yeah, there's definitely been times where things aren't going well, and you, in the back of your mind, you're trying to block it out, but you're like, all right, well, how are we going to mess this one up today?
Yeah,
it happens.
And it doesn't have to be you're on a bad team your whole career. It just has to be you have a little bit of adversity, and your team collectively, you've shown that you can't overcome the self-inflicting wounds.
Well, I'm excited to see what teams get the cigarette smoke out of their restaurant.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of places that don't have any, from the smoking and non-smoking section, there's nothing divider there. Because they might have a good front office, but the coaching staff is smoking, and that shit's just getting all over everything. Or they might have great coaches, and the GMs are sitting in the non-smoking set. That shit's just getting all over it. Steve, we appreciate you so much for joining us, man. I love talking to you. You are the best.
Well, I appreciate it. I had to come in and tip my hat off to AJ. You guys won. I love you showed class. I've never been there before, so I was acting just like you do. I call it like I see it. There's just some folks. Some folks you just can't give money to, man. And sometimes I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys too, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Smith Sr. Thank you very much. I believe we powered through a hard out there for Sirius, which is actually hour 2, which will lead into hour 1. Yeah, Zito missed it too, so I don't even know if we did send it into the. No, it's an automatic. It's an automatic.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's automatic.
Yeah,
it's automatic.
it's
automatic.
yeah.
I mean, I apologize.
That was a good convo.
Great convo, Steve. I enjoy him. I enjoy the way that whole smoking thing is a hilarious metaphor.
It does make sense when someone does how they explain it like that, and they use it like, oh, okay, yeah, now that does paint the picture really for you.
Yeah, because it starts getting into every thought that you have. Whenever you're waking up early to go to work on a football team, but if your team stinks, it's like, all right, is this extra whatever worth it? And then it's like, well, that's a loser mentality. But is it a loser mentality? Because it's a realistic mentality. And then before you even know it, that type of shit is potentially getting you completely off track. And that's how a team can go from being great to good, good to bad, bad to losing to the Jaguars. Oh, jeez.
Well, Well, what do you think? You think you're gonna get over that one? Like, how long is it going to take for you?
I'll tell you what, Jacksonville Jaguars, Clowntown are probably going to get a couple mentions tonight in Omaha.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Wow, it's like the Colts losing to the fucking, beep that, Jacksonville Jaguars, All right, I got to hit a plane. AJ, thanks for joining us here an hour earlier than normal.
Thank you, AJ.
We have a same-game parlay holiday this weekend. Join us on FanDuel if it is available in your state. If we're not available in your state, we're on our way. How the same-game parlay holiday works this weekend with FanDuel, if you bet on NFL wildcard games in same-game parlay fashions, if you bet $20 to $49.99, you'll get $10 back. If you bet $50 to $99.99 on same-game parlays for the NFL weekend, you get $25 back. You bet $100 to $199 on same-game parlays, you'll get $50 back.
Okay.
And if you bet $200 or more on same-game parlays, because it's a same-game parlay holiday, you'll get $100 back, win or lose, and that's a same-game parlay holiday.
Nailed it.
Thank you. As did you, dude. Have a great weekend.
You too. Have fun in Omaha. Is it snowing there?
I believe. But there's also something called the Omadome, which I learned about.
Oh.
The Omadome is not like what Cincinnati should build.
Yes.
It's not like that. The Omadome is allegedly this mysterious thing that although there's always terrible weather projected for Omaha, Nebraska, it never gets it. It is protected by the Omadome. It is something that the locals talk about, from what I've been told.
Oh, I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, me neither. So yesterday when I was like, well, it looks like there's going to be a full-on blizzard over there in Omaha, I got like tweets from people who are like, nah, we're protected by the Omadome, dude. Don't listen to anything. It's all fake. The Omadome's here. I'm like, all right, looks
They
like
got their own like force field. Does Bill Gates live there or something?
Easy, dude.
Anybody else? Do you want to?
Aren't people trying to build stuff like people trying to do this? kind of stuff?
Kevin Spacey build that?
Nice try, AJ.
Yeah, we get it. Way to go.
I thought that was me for a second, Ty.
It did. That was a good impression.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That was a pretty good impression. Thank you for all your hard work this week, AJ. Thank you to all the boys. I know Hammer Dahn will be in about 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. It's been a fun week. I've enjoyed the hell out of this. Let's celebrate the same game parlay holiday in proper fashion.
Hell yeah.
And we'll have our 4 same game parlays will be up on the FanDuel Sportsbook landing page, I believe, tomorrow, tonight, or going into tomorrow, depending upon when the lines are finalized.
Yeah.
So they got to get all that shit done with weather and all this. And I think COVID's still potentially being talked about in this entire thing. So once that gets finalized, we'll get up there. Tomorrow on Twitter, before the games kick off, I will be having a same game parlay holiday contest.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
We had 38 winners last week, right? Of
Yes.
the Sunday hashtag FanDuel is
Phenomenal.
yeah,
I believe,
phenomenal
for the
contest.
touchdowns.
38 winners. We're supposed to guess 3 touchdown scores. Only
Only
one,
Justin Jefferson
Only
scored.
one of the 8 people scored. So we had to randomly pick out of people that picked 3 that had Justin Jefferson in it. 38 winners. We ended up giving away $36,000 last week.
Let's go.
Even though nobody was anywhere close to being right because we didn't give them the opportunity. To
Yeah. Well.
This week, we're going to go big. We're probably going to put out each same-game parlay that each show is putting out, and you're going to have to pick which one's going to win, which one isn't going to win. And if you think none of them are going to win, which parlay do you think is going to win?
Yes.
Or which parlay would you put together in your tweet? And we'll probably end up giving away like $50,000 tomorrow.
Whoa.
Probably.
It's a lot of money.
It is. It is.
And if you include how much money people are going to be making off of
The
all
same-game
of our
parlays.
same-game
That's
parlays.
right.
yeah.
Let's have a same-game parlay. I'm so excited, dude. I'm pumped for it. AJ, I thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Have a great Hammer, Don. I'll see you guys on Overreaction Monday, dude. Let's fucking realize that a lot of things are going to happen over the next few days.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are going to start writing their stories of, wow, that team stinks, or, oh, no, this team is great. What if the Cardinals go on a run? What if the Cardinals are a team that we could have never expected after watching their, up and down performances towards late? They lost on Christmas to the Indianapolis Colts, who would go on to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars and get knocked out of the playoffs. And the Colts had no players when they were playing the Cardinals in Phoenix. Beautiful city. Well, what if the Cardinals just click? What if they find it? J.J. Watt's back in slow motion. Ian Rappaport talked about, what if the Cardinals get on a fucking run on Monday night? What happens if this weekend the Buffalo Bills cement their legacy as the top dog in the AFC East? We're going on a run. We're tired of all the bullshit. 18% of our season ticket holders are Canadians. They can't even get to the game. So tickets are being sold for $30. Let's hope a lot of Buffaloans. Is that their names?
I think so.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Buffalonian, maybe.
Yep.
Buffalonian?
Buffalopes.
Buffalonians.
I don't know if it's Buffalopes, but
That's good too.
the people of Western New York up there.
There it is.
What if they go on a run? The Bengals, first time, long time, AFC North champion, hosting playoff game. What if they get a big time win? What will we be saying next week? Eagles, Bucks, Steelers, Chiefs. Let's have a same game parlay holiday weekend, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. 'Tis the season for some super wild card action.
I was gonna say, Bengals 1990 was their last playoff win, I believe.
It'd be fun. We'd be partying
Was
like
Boomer
it's
was Boomer the quarterback?
90. Huh?
Was Boomer the quarterback during that playoff win?
Schrager mentioned a quarterbacking Bengals team that Boom did lead earlier in our interview with him, and he kind of slipped it past. But obviously, Boomer, since that day, has not stopped working since.
No.
Nope.
And shout out to Boomer, shout out to all of you. Have an incredible weekend. Hopefully you enjoy the same game parlay holiday. It was a lot of work, I think, on the back end by the FanDuel folks. There was a lot of give and take on what we should.
We're all gonna hit. We're all winning this one.
Hell yeah.
We are.
You're right.
And if a team hits, team wins 25 grand from me. Let's go ahead and make sure we're giving away 100 grand in here. All right, thank you all so much. This has been a fun week. Cheers.